we want to try and give some advanced um, expert driven application for our healthcare professionals, something like a um, a surgeon, let's say. So he has a lot of things to do, and he'll be having many patients to attend to, and at the same time he should give attention to every minute details of various reports, connect them, understand them. And since he is playing a crucial role in the organization, he will also have lot of um, I can say the manual thing that he would have to operate on. So in general, we are calling them as clinicians. So these clinicians are the healthcare professionals. They are today overwhelmed by the administrative tasks. I hope you also can relate it with your day-to-day job, because you are into teaching, and since I also have a bit of experience into the teaching, I know how hard it is nowadays to cope up with uh, teaching and doing other administrative activities within the organization that you are in, because you'll have a lot of other projects, maybe the lot of accreditation committees, and so these are all the administrative work that you would be part of. But your primary job is to teach, and somewhere you also feel that burnout, that like this is so much of documentation. I don't find enough time to um, justify to my primary role, which is teaching. I have a lot of things to learn and educate my students about. So I hope someday you would definitely have felt that. Similar to this, I think even in the healthcare domain also, since we are in a digital world, and even the healthcare data is being handled um, in lot of places. So even these clinicians are having these jobs of doing the administrative tasks and the documentations that they have to update in various systems, right? And the time pressure that they cannot uh, do that after some days. It has to be right at that point, right? So, and how the clinician job is, it is like they'll have to be active and available almost every time, depending on the severity of the cases that they'll be handling. So that is one thing. That's the crisis that we see today. And on the other hand, we have exploding data, which is basically the data, because the data that we're talking about is the digital data that we have today. Um, we have lot of images from various healthcare systems, right? From X-rays to MRIs to other types of images that we see, and records. Every patient's records are maintained at different places, and various lab results that the patient has to undergo. So these data is like exploding every day, because um, the patient maybe in his lifetime might have gone through a lot of such, and there are a lot of patients for which the data has to be maintained, and this data is increasing every day. So it is growing definitely faster than the capacity that the human has to process and remember, or maybe like to work on them. That's the other thing. And one more important point that we have today is the siloed system. Siloed systems, basically the systems at within the healthcare. When you say the systems, it could be a maybe a lab related setup, and there is a database separately maintained, and the patient records are separately maintained, and you have such many different systems which are not very well connected. They are fragmented. So the patient's data has to be, or such other details has to be entered at multiple places, and it has to be managed. And in doing so, there could be errors as well, which is very difficult to handle. and that is where again the importance of having a unified system is very necessary today. So information sharing across different healthcare systems is not so easy today, and some survey has highlighted that people who are at the important roles, they more than 50% of them feel this burnout, that they um, feel that they are overwhelmed by the kind of thing that they have to do. And on the other hand, even the patients feel that, okay, this particular specialist did not give me enough time. So he just came, passed by, just inquired. I was unable to speak to him much. So that is the kind of response that the patients will have. But on the other hand, if you look at from the healthcare professional, he will have very little time to attend to every patient, and he has to attend, but in any sense. So that is the two faces of this thing. And on the data side, we see that roughly around 2.5 TB of data gets generated at globalized hospitals that we have today. And roughly 40% of the times the time will be spent on the administrative tasks by these experts. So this is again a burden to them. So with that background, we want to see that yes, we have heard of a lot of such systems like the computer aided diagnosis tools. Yes, it is relatively better compared to the earlier days, like 10-20 years ago. Today doctors and clinicians, they have better systems which can assist them, but still um, the kind of growth that we are seeing in the number of patients and the kind of diseases and the urgency is also increasing. So that is where uh, the technology has to really step up and come to the rescue of these clinicians and experts. So that is where in the current era of AI, we, as you might already have heard of this term, agentic AI. Agentic AI, yes, it is not a very new thing, but we have heard of AI agents earlier also, but the capability which they had was very limited compared to today's AI agents, because of the advancements that have happened in the AI field, which especially from the uh, birth of, or the evolution of the large language models and large multimodal models, which can understand and respond back in a human readable form, and they can really relate to everything that the human wants to understand, and they can capture large context, and they can help you in kind of understanding and solving your problems. So with that advancements in um, the language models that we have today, agentic AI has been a wonderful application of these large language models. Um, so for those who are really new to this agentic AI are the systems with the following capabilities. Basically, if you want to call some system as an agentic AI system, then you would have these components within it. One is on the perception side. When I say perception, perception is all about how the system can pursue the environment. When I say environment, it is the different types of data that it is exposed with. Today we are talking about multimodal data, which is not just limited to text and images. It could be text, images, audio, video, signals, right? Any type of data that is in the digital form. So the system should have the perception capability to understand these various types of data, and then the reasoning capability, which is, can they understand this data and reason out why something is the way it is. So they have to respond back with a strong reason saying that, okay, if you ask some question about some particular topic, you should have a reason to say that this is the response because of so and so thing that it has referred to. And it should be having ability to use tools. So uh, probably you will get to know more about it, but tools are in general like um, how we in our day-to-day handle various tools to solve our tasks, right? Maybe you will have um, let's say if you are doing some office related work, so you'll be using various tools like the maybe the office productivity tools like Word, Excel, they're all tools. And you do the web search, that's a tool, right? So you look into some library, so that's also a tool. So these systems should also be capable of using external tools to do the job. And memory is an important thing where you expect these systems to um, remember the context and the user's history of discussing with it. So what has been discussed and what was the context in which it was discussed. So whenever you come back and ask something, it should uh, remember and it should recollect from its memory and respond back. So so that's an important component. And planning. So whenever you ask something to the agent, it should plan out, okay, this was the question to, or this is the problem basically. To solve this problem, this is the different steps that I should follow to solve it. It should plan the actions and then act accordingly. And collaboration is a very important piece, which is basically to say that it is not a single agent. When I say agentic AI systems, it is a system of agents. That means you might see various agents, each with some specialized, capability, and um, one agent which is trying to solve certain problem of yours. It should connect to some other agent, or it should collaborate with some other agent for a specialized task. So let's say you delegate some of the things that you work on to maybe your assistants, or there may be a specialized I can call as an SME who is really good at doing that particular thing. So you collaborate with him or you delegate that subtask to him and get that done. So the agentic AI systems should have this collaboration capability where they know which agent to call for what task and how to get that task done to solve the bigger problem that it is working on. So overall, the systems, the agentic AI systems are not just the systems like the conventional chatbots, which you ask a question, they respond back. No, they basically try to act on the problem that you have posed on it. For every problem that you pose, it tries to use these various components within it and act on the problem rather than just responding back. So that's the brief definition or an context of agentic AI. So with respect to chatbots that we've been hearing and using in our day-to-day life for past many years, if you try to compare it with agents today, chatbots are typically they are single turn interactions. That means you go ask and it responds back and that is done. Today's AI agents, you expect them to have multi-turn conversations that you continue talking to the agent on a topic, right? And it will have the context you know uh, available with it until you end the conversation and even after that. So the chatbots are statelets. That means they do not keep the conversation and the things that you have discussed and the context in the memory. Whereas in the agent system, you expect or you will see that they are stateful. Basically, they maintains the context in the memory. And when I say memory, there are like various types of memory, um, like session level memory and the persistent memory, which you can extend uh, to have forever with the agent about the thing that you're working on. And chatbots, most likely they are script based. That means there is a set of if else and things that are defined. If this is the question, this is how it should respond, and this is the thing. Whereas here in the agents, we say they are goal driven. So you pose a problem to it, it tries to achieve that goal, and it does everything right in back and forth manner until it achieves that particular goal, right? They're task oriented. Chatbots are reactive, means they just respond back. They don't know how to delegate, use external tools, communicate with other agents, and get back the things, and finally solve your problem. No. So that is where you see that the workflow of chatbots will have this way. So starting from user question, it processes the query, generates the response, and done. Whereas in the agents, you have a set of tools that the agent can access and the external APIs that it can query and get the details about, and it remembers the context, it plans the steps, it adapts basically. Whenever you say no, this is not the correct thing, it tries to learn about that and adapts it accordingly, right? So that is the major difference between the agents and chatbots, right? So So with that, if you think of building some agentic AI solution for the problem that we are trying to work towards, which is to help these clinicians in easing their um, maybe the administrative or some of the routine things, um, how they can reduce their effort and still have the same quality of work done. So if I think of an agentic AI solution for this particular problem, so maybe like we can take up a specific problem here and try to understand how they are done. So you would first need to build contextual intelligence, where you say that the AI agents should understand the clinical context, right, and patient's history and the medical complexity. So that is the thing that you have to achieve in your solution. And second thing that you have to achieve is system integration. So you have to have connection across various systems which have the data that the agents need to do the decisions and do the actions, like EHRs, the electronic health records, the lab systems, imaging systems, and databases. And multi-step assistance is required in the end-to-end workflow automation from data collection till the clinical decision support. So if we relate the different components that we discussed in the agentic AI with respect to the healthcare problem, then the perception component of our agentic solution should have um, a system, a subsystem by itself, which can read medical images, right? Or what is the data that you see in the medical domain? It's basically the medical images, the clinical notes, and some lab results. So these are the data. So that the perception component of our solution should be capable of doing this, right? With the context of the clinical history and the patient history. So in the medical context, and reasoning, basically to analyze the patterns, um, like relate with the data that it has seen earlier and see what was the diagnosis and which solution fits for what case based on the previous historical solutions that are there in the database. So it basically looks at the patterns for the current case probably, and prioritizing diagnosis. So basically, let's say if this system is um, with an expert or like with a medical expert, instead of attending or giving importance to every patient, he can prioritize who should be given more importance. You know, we have seen systems today which you can use to connect with doctors, and even you can share the reports to them, but only when the doctor goes through the reports, he'll be able to know, okay, this is a serious case, this should be immediately attended or not, right? Or maybe he will have some assist a team assisting him, like again a set of doctors, okay, who can help him prioritize. Now if you think of a agent which is as good as the expert, because when you think of um, a team of assisting doctors, generally their experience will be slightly lesser compared to the expert doctor, and the number of cases that they know or that they are aware of, that they have come across, maybe slightly lesser, definitely, with respect to the expert. But if you think of an system, a agent which has exposure to all such records, right, and which can in real time connect to these and understand the pattern, that okay, this current case is very similar to the case that was having a very severity, and the urgency of attending was really high in that case, so it can prioritize the diagnosis. So that will definitely help both the patient as well as the doctor to give best possible treatment in the right time. And even the agents can suggest some treatments, not to the level of expert, though it can, but you can set guardrails and constraints. I'll come on to that part, the challenges. But uh, the agents, if built really well, can suggest treatments looking at the patterns and the diagnosis that is made. It can suggest some treatments, but uh, you can think that as of now we can limit that to only maybe the initial treatment that is required if it is a very uh, urgent thing that to be attended, and if the expert doctor cannot attend it, right, something like that. And that's the reasoning part. So it cannot randomly throw some response that okay, this, if this is the case, then do this. No, it is doing the pattern matching, it is trying to study, and based on that it is trying to recommend from the expert database that is there, from the historical actions that is there. Okay, and the next thing is on the action. So it automates the documentation. So this is, I think, very routine thing for the healthcare professionals, that they have to create these documents, write them. Maybe there is a big lab report, they have to write a concise summary of it, right? um, Even looking at various reports, they have to generate one more final report. So these things are routine, and you can say it has to be done by the expert only. So you cannot ask lab assistant to do the report creation, or some other person cannot do it. So it has to be at the expert level. So these agents, if you build them really well on how to generate such reports, it can refer to lots of reports and study the reports and understand the patterns and create similar reports, which can now maybe these reports can become a single point of reference for the experts, and they can just go through and make one revision and say yes, go ahead, instead of they spending hours together to create such reports. So reviewing the report generated by these agents is pretty faster, and that will save their time as well. And other thing is the collaboration. So it not only collaborates with other agents, we also expect them to collaborate with clinicians to enhance the decision making. So maybe these agents can come up with various recommendations, and the clinicians can, instead of going with one approach, they can see that okay, based on the historical context of this patient and with the similar cases, these were the different things, and they can now prioritize the actions based on the recommendations given by the system. Okay, so overall, it is important to think of a workflow for the agentic system, on how it can process the documents and how it can reason out on the data, and how it can fit into the system and collaborate with the experts. So I want to re-emphasize that the idea is not to replace any expert over here. It is to assist them. It is still to assist them. It is to take away some of the routine things out of the, the experts, and do it through a agent. And maybe it will help in very urgent cases, like even for the patients. They can also be connected to the system. They can take recommendations from here, which are verified by the clinicians, and that will speed up the diagnosis and the treatment process as well. So the workflow goes like this: you should have a perception, then reasoning, then action, and then collaboration. Okay, so with the core capabilities of multimodal data processing and the context-aware reasoning, tool integration, which is basically to connect to other databases, and maybe uh, if it requires some external knowledge base to be connected to understand about the case, then these tools will help the agents to do that. And we also have to think of some certain safety features, like keeping the human in the loop for validation. Yes, in some cases we can have autonomous agents which can do the job without any human in the loop. But this healthcare is not a field where, um, at least today, we are not in a position to say that it is completely autonomous. We can give it to the systems, because it requires a human touch where he has to have that customization, depending on the conditions. So however good the agents analysis and understanding is, keeping the human in the loop can help in handling certain edge cases for sure. And it will also bring a trust factor into the system. And explainable AI decisions, right? So we should have the agents to come out with reasoning and a detailed justification on why it has given the output in certain way, right? And audit trials and logging is basically to uh, kind of have, for every action that the agent has taken, we should have an entry in our system that this was the action on this particular situation because of this reason. So that will help in making the system better. Like any other system, AI system, it may not be possible to have a best possible system in day one. So these logging and audit trails will help the systems to improve uh, over time, through the maybe the humans validations and the metrics, various metrics that we compute against their actions. And escalation protocols, something like the agents should have the different escalation points where it has to delegate the things to human. That okay, this is a different case and it is difficult as well, and whenever it has conflicting or confusing decisions, then it has to escalate it. Um, and clinical guidance adherence, so we should make sure that the AI agents should adhere to the clinical guidelines that are in place by various compliance and other organizations and governing bodies, which define how the treatment or everything should be done in a healthcare setup. All right. I think if there's any question, we can spend some time at the end of the session and try to discuss if there's any clarification. I'm just trying to give you uh, a way today. Yes, these are not just imagination. We have some systems already in place, and there are some companies which are trying to build such systems, uh, at least for various report reading and coming out with recommendations for the treatments. So there are systems already available. You can go and look back onto this. So overall, if you think of building such a system which can do this job, then the impact that comes out is, of course, the pain points that we discussed in the first slide, which is the burnout. So it will definitely reduce the burnout because of automation of routine tasks for these clinicians, and they can focus more on the patient's care and the meaningful work. You know, like you, many even in the healthcare also, like many clinicians, right, experts, they will have their core interest in advancing the healthcare products and the solutions. Basically, they'll be doing their own research, right? And if not research, at least they want to give better care to the patient, be available to the patients, right? So this will for sure help them to do it. And the accuracy. So AI assisted decision making reduces the errors and improves the diagnostic accuracy through data driven insights. So many a cases, right, it is very true also that the experts or will not have similar kind of expertise across, you know um, across the healthcare organizations, and the decisions that they take will also be situation dependent, and sometimes uh, may be incorrect as well. There may be human errors in understanding, and there may be some uh, data reading anomaly that might go in. There are various reasons why uh, that diagnosis or the treatment is not correct for that particular patient. Whereas in the AI assisted case, because it has gone through a lot of sources of data and has done a great assimilation of these various sources and has studied the patterns before recommending, and probably as I said, it has access to the external tools, so it can fetch what is the most advanced treatment or the solution out there today, right? Which even the expert might not be aware. So you cannot think that every expert is really up to date with everything that is, that is happening in their domain because of various reasons. Not saying that they are not getting up to date. Um, Maybe because they have very little time. By the time they know this, there is something like this. Um it might be slightly late also, so they may be giving some outdated solution, whereas the agents with the external tool access, it can refer to various research repositories and relate the case and try to come out with a what is the most advanced and recent solution to this particular case. So such things are really going to help in having the better accuracy of the treatment. And of course, since it comes with data driven insights, there is very less chance to have inaccurate recommendations. And the enhanced efficiency, which is basically the workflows are very streamlined now, and the automation is like it's an intelligent automation. It will increase the productivity across the healthcare operations also. So this single system can be a point for various people to connect with the patient's records. They can understand what's going on with that patient instead of going through their reports every time they have to attend to that particular patient. Because for one particular disease, it may be, I mean, the case that um, it has to be solved by various experts. Something like there is a surgery that is planned for some patient on the abdomen, or he might have some other issues, which is, let's say, heart disease, or he might have some um, diabetic conditions. So if the records are in place in a centralized repository, and if it is connected, instead of the expert coming and reading and are looking at those documents, the AI can look at and give a recommendation, and it is in timely manner also. So overall, it helps in improving the clinician's satisfaction they'll have more time for patient interaction and clinical decision making, and system becomes efficient, and outcome is like the patients will get better care than before. So it will like if the system's also connected in that way, definitely it will lead to integrated healthcare than having a fragmented, disconnected systems where humans have to connect all these dots, right? So that's the impact that we can think of. So overall, the different probably the applications that you can see in the healthcare through agentic AI is in a nutshell how it can help, but there are specific applications like clinical documentation. So the agents can come in and help in generating the documents on the patients and various notes and the summaries, right? Even the from the voice recordings. So see, commanding a system with voice and explaining the thing with voice, an expert can quickly explain like what has happened. And if there is this agentic system which can understand what the expert is explaining and connects with other resources, so it can immediately come out with a summary. So it is very fast now. So if he explains some other assistant, right, he should have all that corresponding knowledge why the doctor is explaining in that way, and maybe like trying to give a recommendation in that way. So which if the agent is there in place because it has connected to various other data bases and the systems, it knows why the expert is giving this recommendation in such way. So it can just listen to the expert and come out with a detailed summary of what actually has to be um, there in the note. And radiology reporting, something like we can think of an AI powered analysis of medical images, like the x-rays, MRIs, and such various images that are generated by these um, systems, with automated report generation and anomaly detection. So rather than the patient waiting for the expert to look at it, the agents can by themselves look at these images and come out with the report which is as good as expert written report, and they can also detect various anomalies. Of maybe if you have worked on medical images, you know that there are systems today which can look into x-rays, which can look into MRIs and identify if there is any anomaly, if there is any tumorous thing, right? There are computer vision based solutions available. So you can connect those computer vision based solutions to the agents and say that, okay, use this solution and look at this image and come out with your conclusion, right? And another agent can uh, take the result of that computer vision agent and connect with other reports of that patient and come out with a detailed summary. We can think of building such. So in our example that we discussed today, we'll take up one such example on the radiology reporting and try to understand how we can build different agents with different capabilities and connect them together into a system. And decision support application, something like you will have real-time clinical decision assistance, like patient need not come to the expert, or though we today have this something called as video, uh, what is that, video call through which the experts are trying to connect with patients. uh, it is still not that great way to connect with patient virtually, but with agent in place through a video consultation also, it is now possible to give the treatment recommendations in a best way. And patient triage, which is we can prioritize which patients to be attended and which is uh, going to be an urgency case, right? Dynamically without the expert having to decide about this. So that's about the triage, because experts time are very precious and we know that it has to be given to the prioritized cases, right? So that will be solved. And literature review, you can have a dedicated agent built to do the literature review, because as I said, every expert may not have sufficient time, and by the time they get those details, it may be slightly outdated, and there could have been a better treatment that could be given to the patient if the expert has already been given awareness that there is something new in the literature that can help, right? Or if there is a very new case, then generally you know how even the experts will handle such new cases, right? If they come across with very entirely new thing, a new kind of patient with new kind of symptoms, they'll try to relate it to various things and do trial and error, okay, based on the limited knowledge and the limited experience that they have, because they do not have any ready tools that they can directly connect and get the details about by just sharing the symptoms of that patient, right? So agents now can help if you share the symptoms and everything, so they can connect to these various literatures and do the pattern analysis, and they can map and give better and enhanced solutions to the experts, which they can go through and give better treatments than having their own decisions without these tools. Okay, so these are the different places. Even like if you are interested or pursuing your research properly, you can pick up one of these. um, I know it's a challenge to get the data, and that is where organizations should come up. um, it is not a computer science research as such. It is a multidisciplinary research. It has to have connection between the healthcare organizations and the academic organizations to have this collaboration, because you as a computer scientist will not understand what is this disease about and what is what, right? That subject matter expertise should be from the healthcare professionals, and even the data access is very difficult unless you have a proper MOUs signed across these organizations. You won't be able to work on this. So those challenges, if they are addressed, then probably um, this is a very helpful advancement in the medical systems. Yes, it is nowadays happening at very higher level, where bigger organizations are trying to communicate, collaborate and do. But at every smaller academic organizations, if we come up with some setup, then definitely it is going to be a possibility, and it will ultimately help the society in better healthcare. So with that, I wanted to have one case study so that we can understand how we can build agentic AI systems. So something like if you want to build a automated medical image analysis system with an agentic workflow, then this is how you will have the various sub agents in it, with each agent having its own dedicated task within the system, like an image analysis agent, because you have a lot of medical different types of medical images coming in for that patient. So you should have an agent which knows how to handle and how to interpret these medical images, right? Which is backed by the computer vision and deep learning. Uh, so when I say agent, it is a application of a ML model. um, so this agent, you can think that it is a um, you know something like it's a person, but the brain is the ML model which is sitting behind. And this person uses the brain, and it knows which tool to be accessed, whom else to be uh, talked to, right? Which data to be accessed. So this person has all the access available with him, and his brain is trained with that particular knowledge of how to understand and interpret some other medical images. So you can think about is this image analysis agent in that way. And the other agent that you need is the clinical context agent, because the image analysis agent does the analysis of the medical image. It comes out with its observations, which the clinical context agent has to relate and combine with the patient's history, right? Okay, this particular image that the agent has looked at, the image analysis agent has looked at, is for this patient, and this patient has this history of disease and the treatment, right? All the previous, the study, the imaging study or whatever study that has been done on that particular patient, all that context will be brought up by this clinical context agent. So clinical context agent now looks at that particular the analysis of the image analysis agent from the lens of this context and gives up his kind of observation. So the next agent is a report composer agent, which says that, so if you look at the system without these agents, right, you will have a radiologist who looks at the patient in that particular scan, and he says, okay, this medical image has this particular, say if it is a brain MRI or some other MRI image that has come out, he looks at and says that, okay, this is the scanning of this particular thing, and we see this some observation, right, some abnormality, and if there is something like a tumor, for example, so there is a small tumor which is of this size, and so only that thing will be there in the radiologist's report, and they give a suspect, or I mean a probable thing like this could be the case, and refer. They will not have the wider context of what the patient is, what was the history, and what was the treatments. All that is not there. Now the expert who is handling has to take that report and take that context and generate a report from both, which this clinical context agent is doing for you. And report composer agent generates the report in a very structured format such that it combines the findings from the image analysis and the clinical context both, so that it becomes very readable and can be shared with both patients and the experts. Before doing that sharing, we bring in another agent to validate the report's accuracy. It cross checks now back, okay, was it given by this agent, whatever facts that this report composer agent has generated, are they right? It compares and looks if there's any inconsistencies, and also it looks at, is it ensuring the compliance. There could be some medical guidelines that are present. It tries to look at if those compliance and standards are met, right? And if there is any error in it, it flags it, and probably you can have a cycle back to the respective agent to look it and enhance it. And ultimately an human reviewer agent, so it routes to the qualified radiologist now to review, right? So it is better to have a human in the loop, as this discussed earlier, just to make sure that whatever is there is correct, and he can just do a review, final review, and approve and send it to the patient, I mean the respective uh, person, maybe the patient or even for the medical expert. So if this is one particular case where you can think of an agentic AI system with these different agents in place. Okay, so now we just understood what are the different components that we would need. Sorry, what are the different components that we would need to have this system. But within each component, as I said, the brain um, for each of those agents, and the tools that these agents need are what. For this particular case of the radiology agent, the architecture requires the large language models, right? So if you're not familiar with what large language models are, large language models, like something like you definitely might have, you definitely would have used ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is an chat application built on top of GPT. GPT is a large language model, so built by some organization like OpenAI. So large language models basically are very big machine learning models which are built using advanced deep learning architectures. Okay, using an architecture called as transformer. But the overall idea of large language models is, the general large language models are the models which can understand the natural language text. Okay, and nowadays they are multimodal, meaning they can understand both natural language text and the images and to videos as well. So multimodal data. So these models can understand this, and they can look back into their uh, trained data, right, based on the data that they have trained on. And if these language models today, even they have the capability to do a tool connection, they will interpret this data, and you can use these large language models to understand and discuss and reason on top of the input that you're given. So or they can independently as answer your questions also. So whatever you pose as a question, if they know that knowledge, they'll respond back in a readable form. And then vision models, they are specifically trained for the vision activities, which is basically to understand images, right, of various domains. So in our case, the large language models that we need, something like a very highly capable models like GPT-4, right? Uh, they are really good. Or we can think of some domain specific large language models, something like MedPalm, just as an example, which is a model that is trained on the medical data, so that it knows the medical terms. GPT-4 knows medical thing, but it is not only trained on the medical data, it is trained on everything on the internet. So it is more versatile. So it is the MedPalm is very specialized model. So you should have access to one of them, right, and use them as the core for your agent wherever the language understanding is required. And wherever the image understanding is required, you can think of a specialized uh, imaging, so the image analysis model, something like a vision model. For example, BioVil is a vision language model which can take in image, and also it can take in language queries, something like you can send in a medical image and ask a question on top of that image. It understands that image, and it understands your question and responds back with a answer with reasoning. uh, there are certain open source models, and there are certain closed source, uh, proprietary models which need subscriptions. Okay, but we need a vision model. And so to build today these AI agents, so you need not sit and do every piece of coding to connect this LLM and write all those capabilities that the agents should have. Today we have a lot of such frameworks, right, which you can use to build these agentic systems. Some of the popular ones are LangChain, LangFlow, sorry, LangGraph, and Creo. uh, so they provide necessary functions and libraries for you to just build a agentic system um, quickly without having to spend a lot of effort in doing the coding. And yeah, this is very important part of the system. If you expect your agent to have uh, reliable and dynamic and very trustful response, it should be connected with the data, because independent of the core data, the large language models, they can give some generalized response. Whereas if you connect them with the domain data, something like the patient records, you have to give connection to the patient records, or the compliance, or the medical standards. So all those are not explicitly available for the models or the agents. So the solutions to dynamically provide these knowledge, right, to the agents when they are working, or with the help of retrieval and such. So we have today something called as RAG, which is retrieval augmented generation. That means you pose a question to an agent which has LLM, let's say an LLM as its brain. So it goes to the LLM as a question, but the LLM doesn't have the context to respond back to the question. So the context has for that question has to be dynamically ingested, and that context comes from some of your the data sources. So how do you connect to those data sources? And those data sources are very big, and you do not want to send the entire knowledge base for every question to make it, very performant basically. And there is a limitation of how much context you can send as a while doing the querying to these LLMs. So that is where the RAG comes in place for your rescue, where you can retrieve that specific context for that question, right, from the knowledge bases, right, and the LLMs can use that context for their reasoning and response. So basically, we create vector databases out of the various knowledge base that you have. Let's say the patient records, and even the medical data, and external research, everything is available. So all of them can be converted into vector databases, wherein if a query comes in, then you can do a vector search into this database. A vector search, basically the query gets converted into a vector, and you in the vector database you already have vectors of all the chunks of contexts, and whichever chunk, the whichever vector in the database is most similar, basically what is search. It's basically vector search. You have one vector, query vector, and you have a lot of vectors in the database which are maybe indexed in a really good way, so that you can achieve faster search, like logarithmic search. You search for a vector which is most similar to the query vector, and then fetch out the corresponding chunk of context and send back to the LLM before, along with the query, so that the LLM now, okay, knows something about that particular question, and it responds now with better confidence than querying it without sending any context. So this RAG component is very important. And medical ontologies are something like the naming convention and the standards that are used in the diagnostic reports, so that when the agent is creating a report, it is using the notions and the words from this ontology for specific diseases and something, some of the key terminologies that it has to use, and it should know what is the meaning of what term. So it can refer to this medical ontology, so you can attach this as an external tool, so that which can be queried by the agent, and it gives you report which is as good as a report generated by a medical expert. So these are the components that you need in this architecture now. And the integrated flow, something it looks like this. You'll have medical images, which will go into the vision models, and you'll have followed by that for the report generation agent, you'll have LLMs and the RAG to connect to the patient database and other external knowledge sources, and ontology mapping to convert that report into a medically sound report, and finally you will see the report. So this is something like how it works internally, right? So this integrated architecture that you can build with these components working together will give a comprehensive radiology AI system, basically. All right, so that's a solution that we discussed. I'll come back to that again when we try to implement it. Maybe I'll just demonstrate, and later you can try and implement the same. But with all the good things that we heard so far, what are the limitations that we see today in building such systems? So I've noted some of the very important limitations, but there are many others, and their criticality as well. Hallucination. So you might have heard of these hallucinations in the generative AI models, the LLMs, that these AI systems can generate misleading facts. They are good at generating the text, right? But sometimes the text that they generate are misleading, maybe factually incorrect. Um, so how to handle them? There are various ways, the technological ways to handle them systematically, but it is very important from the domain side also to put certain guardrails. But this is a very critical issue, uh, without which you cannot think of using such systems. So how can you handle the generation, the misleading things, factual incorrect things that these generative AI models can generate sometimes? Because even in one of thousand cases, if it comes out with a wrong uh, assumed response, right, it is generative, it can generate. There are controls that we have, systematic controls. Like I said, you have certain parameters like temperature and others which you can set. Like technically, these generative models are the probabilistic models. They try to generate one token or one word at a time in generic sense. So the next word that it generates is driven by the probability that comes out with the bigger architecture within which it works. So if you allow the temperature to be higher, then it will not pick a most probable one. It will also use the generation capability and comes out with other words also. So if you set the temperature to 0, then it becomes more predictable. It follows your guidelines. It adheres to whatever you say, but it may not be so useful sometimes when you wanted to look into various sources and then generate it in a really useful way. So it may just go on repeating the things that it is seeing from the data that it has access to. Um, but external guardrails should be there. Explainability. Sometimes these generative AI models themselves, the architectures themselves are black box. Something like if you go and use GPT-4, why it has understood something in some way, don't know. Why it has given higher probability to some term, some word, or some response, not very clear. So that explainability is not so clear even today, but there are ways in which I mean, people are trying to address this explainability factor, but that is very important. Vision-based models sometimes, like, they are good at explainability because they point at certain place on the image and say this is why it is. And even the LLM models will refer to various sources and say this is why it has come out with that specific thing. But if you want piece by piece, like bit by bit, a token level explainability, that is something which is difficult at this time. And regulatory, still most AI systems are not FDA compliant. Means FDA is a regulatory body which you should take approval before you use any AI system in your healthcare. So it is very important for their compliance, and they'll it will be a compliant system only when it passes all their checks. So that is one important limitation before you use any system. And knowledge gaps. So AI models may have incomplete medical knowledge, because unless you provide them with the right set of tools to access the latest data, they give outdated responses also, because whatever training they have been uh, trained on, whatever data they had been trained on, they'll be able to give only response based on that. But if you ingest, like with the help of frag, the recent data, and even with the search tools. So in the tools part, you today we have like web search. They can do a web search and fetch the latest data, but that is also an issue, because in the web search they may be looking at some factually incorrect resource based on which they are giving the response. So you cannot use a generic search tool for them to access and fetch the latest data. That is also not correct. So there also we need to have certain guardrails. But yeah, so at every parts of it, if you carefully build it so that it is not going wrong in any place, and it is almost up to date, and it is compliant, then certainly it is possible. But every piece of it is both a technological and a domain challenge. Whenever some organization picks up and tries to solve, they'll have to handle every part of it. But otherwise, in general, solutions are available from the technological advancements which you have to carefully use. Privacy. Certainly, because these systems are exposed to patients' data, so these systems should be compliant from these organizations like HIPAA, the GDPR, on the privacy of the customers' data. We have seen, and people may try to break the systems and try to steal patients' record from these systems. So how you protect these systems from such malicious users is very important, and that is where these systems should not be public facing, but it should be internal systems, at least till you have all such things solved very well, so that the patient's data is not, I mean, if you are using it internally within your organization, this GDPR thing will not be a concern. Only when these systems become the users facing, public facing, then only this question comes, like how are you making sure that the customer's information will not be leaked, or we cannot be maliciously accessed, right? So these are the limitations, or you can say challenges as well, which are very critical while building such systems. So overall, these limitations are the significant barriers in the adoption of AI in healthcare, but um, carefully building with all this in place, handled, will definitely make it a better system and can be a reality in many places of healthcare. All right. With that, the design principles, if somebody wants to build any agentic AI system, then first thing is they have to have the task decomposition. They cannot build a single agent which does everything inside. So instead, you have to think of a system for a dedicated use case, right? Which is pretty generalizable, and you have to split that problem into smaller chunks and see that they are manageable. So such task decomposition is very important. And tool use over memory, so it is something like to make sure that it is using up to date data. The agent that you're building is using up to date data, can be ensured by using tool use. So what, for whatever response that you want to give, instead of using your memory always, you go over tool. So if you have a tool to access the latest thing, go and use it. If there is no tool, then only use the memory, right? So that is important principle, and having RAG in place so that you can connect with proprietary data, or uh, anything that is not available for the agent through the LLM's training. So through the RAG part. And traceability, you should have, I mean, today these frameworks that I talked about, the Creo and others, they give pretty much easy traceability on agents, what are the actions that they are taking, which tool they are calling, and what was the query that went into LLM, right, for some problem, and what was the response of the LLM, and what action did that agent took after that response. All that can be easily traceable with the advanced tracing mechanism. Like there's something called as LangFuse, right? And there are various LangTrace, and these are public, open source tools which you can integrate into your system and trace the entire actions of these systems. Human escalation. So you should have very careful place where these agents escalate some of the questions to humans rather than answering them. So that discretion should be there at every agent level on what questions they cannot handle certain examples, and they can generalize it really well. And guardrails, as I said, you have to employ the safety measures and ethical constraints that you are following all the compliance and standards. And human in the loop, uh, to make sure that maybe at every good point of the agent's flow, you keep a human check. Okay, there is a major decision making there, and it has to go through human. Something like we had a radiology agent, like we kept the human at the end so that he verifies the report and identifies if there is any significant incorrectness in it. So these are the important principles that one should have in mind while building these agentic systems for healthcare. um, okay, so I think this is will come back with the use case directly. And the research opportunities inside the agentic systems for healthcare may be like these are generic, but you can specifically think of how you can evaluate the agentic systems for the healthcare problem that you're working on. So, what sort of evaluations can help in deciding that this agent is good or bad, how good, so those things. And multi-agent planning, so for some particular task, like you have multiple agents working together to come out with a solution, so there are avenues for you to do a research on how you can better define the planning mechanisms. And explainability, as I said, like uh, there are some ways to do the explainability, but the detailed explainability factors which will help you to gain all the approvals and compliance thing uh, is through explainability itself. So you can dedicatedly work on how you can make these agents uh, to have explainability inherently available with them. um, and clinical trials is that's left to when you try to adopt certain system, like how do you evaluate through clinical trials, right? So you can have certain research opportunities within each of these, though they are like very broader topics. You can definitely relate it to some of the healthcare solution and work upon them. So overall, the agentic AI systems, they have to be assistive, should not be autonomous, because healthcare is not such a domain where you can give complete control to AI, even today, because of the concerns that we understood. And engineering and governance is very essential, because like you have to engineer it in a really very good way, so that each of the aspects within the system is clearly controlled and monitored, and governance of the entire system has to be very essential. But ultimately, if you do it right, it can help you to reduce the burden and improve the healthcare. So with that, like I have a quick demo to be shared. The radiology report analyzer agent. So I'll quickly pass through this. So I am trying to use open source tools here. So we built a simple query-based multi-agent architecture for radiology reporting. So here we have certain agents. I'll just show you. So as we discussed in our slides, we need few agents. One is a radiology finding extractor. I am avoiding the image analysis agent here and calling it as radiology finding extractor. Let's say just because like I did not have access to a computer vision model which can take in the image, I am just feeding in directly the content from the image, as if like image analysis agent has obtained it, and it is being passed to the radiology finding extractor. So in this implementation, we are defining, I think, four agents. One is to extract the key findings from the image analysis, and second is to summarize the findings and provide recommendation, and then third is a medical terminology translator, which translates the uh, summary and uses the medical terminal, whatever medical terminology being used inside it. Okay, so basically one does the extraction task, and second does the summarization, and third one does the translation of the medical terminologies inside it. So if you see how it is implemented, it is very simple with the help of frameworks like Creo. I mean, just installing Creo, and as LLM, I'm using LLM provided by Grok. So you can just refer Grok as uh, an organization. I mean, LLM, basically an LLM, you can say, and it has something like OpenAI. You have Grok models also. Some of them are open source, some of them are proprietary. Now I'm using the open source models of Grok here. Um, so you have to install some of the libraries to set it up, and you should have the API key for Grok, which you can also create. I have my one, so you can just go to Grok and create. create your account and get one API key created for yourself, which we have here. And yeah, so here I'm just typing out some uh, report, something like an image analysis report, which we will pass in to these agents. And let's understand how these agents work and come out with summaries for these different reports. I have 4 example reports with me. One is this. It was the report about a patient on the pancreatic cancer, and there's some details from the radiology image analysis. Okay, let's feed in. And second report is CT chest with contrast of a 68-year-old female, and his some brief history is a long smoker, uh, and some findings within it. And third report is a X-ray chest PA and lateral of some 22-year-old female, and some key findings. So we are passing this as inputs. Okay, I think we have the key over here. So we have to pass the key to access those models. Though it is open source, we have to go with their APIs only. So that's API key passed in. And if you see, I am using this Llama 3.3, which is from Meta, but from the Grok provider. Okay, so this will be my LLM that is being used inside these agents. And to define the agents, I'm using Crivey, an agent class from it. So this is a simple way you can define your agent. So if you want an agent, you have to define what is the role of that agent, what is the goal, and you give a backstory. And these are some of the parameters, like you want their outputs to be seen, and do you want them to give delegations to other agents, and what is the LLM that you want them to use. Okay, the LLM that we have defined just above using Grok. I'm defining one agent, which is radiology finding extractor. Say that your goal is to meticulously read a radiology report, which you get as input, and extract the primary findings, clinical indications, and impression. And your backstory is you are an AI assistant specialized in medical text analysis. Your strength is in identifying, isolating key clinical information from dense reports, ensuring no critical details. Like for this demo, I've just typed it. When you develop, you have to give the detailed version of it, and whatever constraints and conditions that you want to put, you have to give in the backstory, and in the goal you have to have a clear goal of what it has to do. And another agent is the summarizer, to take the extracted radiology findings from this agent, which sends in as input, and create a concise, easy to understand summary for a non-radiologist clinician, including potential next steps. Backstory is you're an experienced clinician AI, and you can, so all such things. Another is the medical terminology translator. We say that you, and wherever you can provide tools, there is a way you can just write the tools and say that if you want to use any external knowledge base, you can connect to this using these tools. So we have ways. I just have not defined here, just in our example. But these are the agents. And finally, you define their tasks. So first is you define the extraction task, the description, what is that you're expecting as output, and which agent should handle it. Okay, the agent that we have defined above, finding extractor. Then the summarization agent, which will take as the context or the input basically from the extraction task, and this will take the context from both extraction and summarization task, right? All right, so, and here you define, okay, what's the way. So finding extraction should go first, then the clinical summarizer, then the patient translator should come. So we have defined the sequence also, and we are passing in the first report that I showed you out of the 4. So first report has gone in, and we have asked read the radiology report text, which is this, and come out with. So radiology finding extractor is giving this response. If you see here, clinical indication, key findings, and final impression, it completes the task. Now it passes on the context to the clinical report summarizer, which takes that above response and generates the summary, right? Concise summary of it. And the terminology translator generates some of the terminologies that are used in this. So there is a hyper hydrophenophrosis is used. What is that? Okay, so it is doing it with its own understanding. It has some training data. I mean, it was trained on such data also, so it knows. But if you think that the data that it is using or the abbreviations that it is giving are not so good, you can ingest some external sources, like I said. And so that is how ultimately it is giving you. Let's pass on another report. So similarly, it goes and extracts. Okay, so I'll be sharing this with you later on, so you can just do a quick exploration. All right, I think we are good at the time as well. We can take a couple of questions, and if the time is not sufficient, we can have a follow-up. I mean, I'm reachable uh, offline as well.
Yeah. Participants, please, okay, unmute yourself if you any got any question.
Yes, I see one hand raised. Trupti.
Yeah, please, Trupti, please go ahead with your question.
Yes, madam, go ahead.
Hello, am I?
Yes, you are audible.
Sir, you have talked about a lot of data sets. Unfortunately, in healthcare, the data sets that we get is limited. So, can
Yes.
you suggest some websites or some data sources with which we can work? Okay.
Yeah, certainly.
Secondly,
Hmm.
uh, see, if we talk about images like MRI images and all, so they are very heavy files. So in that case, what can you give some suggestion as to what we can do and how we can work with it?
Okay, so on the first question, data set is definitely a constraint, and there are like certain open data sets in the medical domain, but they are good for the research purpose alone. And if you want to build some agentic system, so then you will need to have a collaboration with some healthcare system, healthcare organization, I say, and collect your own data is the best way rather than going with open source data sets, because they will be either like the data will be entirely masked out and very outdated. Uh, so I think that is the way to go. But
Yeah,
for
correct.
initial
Because if you are
exploration, you
getting
can, yes,
the
for
naval data
initial
sets are
exploration,
not
there are
getting proper.
certain websites which I can share later. I do not have them readily available. But yeah, there are some. Definitely, you cannot rely on them itself. They will be very limited, and you will see outdated data there. Second question was on the MRI specific, right?
Yes.
I cannot say like how people are handling it, because I have not explicitly worked on MRI images as such. Uh, but it also depends on which vision model that you're working with. If they need high quality images, otherwise you can use some compression techniques and reduce the size and still uh, have similar accuracies with the models. Is the question on like the model, I mean the memory limitations that you're facing if you want to use those high quality images, or the models are unable to work on them?
So because see, most of the time we'll need GPUs and all for it, which again
Yes,
becomes a
um,
constraint later, you know.
right. That is that, I don't think there's no other way for you unless you use GPUs. One best possible way is, instead of procuring GPUs, go for cloud providers and use their services. And one more important thing is, like, you cannot use LLMs from enterprises directly, because
Hmm.
they'll provide you through APIs. And when I
Okay.
say APIs, you have to share your input goes to their servers, and then their execution response comes back to you, and you don't know whether they are using your data or not. So
Correct,
there has
correct.
to be proper, what do you say, the approvals in place for you to send these medical images to those public APIs. Otherwise, you should host your own model, or think of some open source models here.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, any other question, please? Because sir has got an important assignment lined up, so please ask your question immediately.
All right. So in that case, thank you so much. Probably if there are any questions, I think our organizers can help them to reach out to me offline through my email. If there's anything that I can be of any help in their research with this, I would definitely be very happy to share my knowledge with them, and any point of references as well. But
Yeah.
I would like to thank the organizers for having me here in this session, and yeah, I wish you best
Yeah.
for the next
Yeah,
sessions.
thank you so much, Dr. Suhil, for your insightful talk on agentic AI in the healthcare. And your talk has definitely given us a clear understanding of how AI can transform patient care and medical practice. And also, you have highlighted the challenges in adopting AI in healthcare. So we truly appreciate the time, effort, and expertise you have shared with us. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
Thank
thank
you,
you,
Dr. Suhil,
Rajesh.
for wonderful session and that
Thank you,
too with the
madam.
practical exam. It was wonderful. Nice hearing again from you.
Yeah, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, then I'll drop off.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
fine,
Yes, sir. Thank
fine.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, participant, we'll be soon starting with our second session. So, don't go away. We'll be having our second session very immediately. So, I hand over to my colleague, Dr. B.S.
Uh,
Kapre, for
Sir,
coordinating the further.
can I interject in between? Sir, my name here shows as Trupti, but it's actually Rashmi Ravikumar. I'm unable to change it, sir.
You can just post it on the WhatsApp group. Our team will look after it, please, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay.
And
Thank you
sir,
so much.
we would like to, can you share sir's email ID also?
Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, let's
Yeah.
begin with the other set of expert who are ready, I guess. So I hand over it to Dr. Kapre, madam. She will take care of the next session. Thank you.
Yes, madam. Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you, Eza, sir. Trupti, madam, I'll share you the details of sir.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. Okay. Razuka, madam,
Huh?
uh, sir has joined. Deshmukh, sir.
Did you call him?
I have texted him just now, so he'll be joining soon. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll check with
Shall I
him.
call him? Eza, sir?
Yeah, I'll check with him, and I'm calling. Yes. Yeah, I spoke to him. He's joining. Please have an eye on the people list.
I think sir has joined. Good evening, sir.
Yes, I have joined from my mobile device. Soon I will join from my laptop as well.
Okay, sir. Okay.
You can start introduction if required.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah. Can you hear me, sir? Am I
Yeah,
audible? Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. Now it is my honor to introduce the next distinguished speaker, Dr. Ajay Deshmukh, sir. He is a highly accomplished academician, researcher, consultant, and administrator with over 32 years of experience. He holds a PhD from IIT Bombay in magnetic resonance imaging, and he is founding director of Resonance Automation, Pune. He also serves as an adjunct professor at Dr. Homi Bhabha State University, Mumbai, and director of Center of Industrial Mathematics, Pune. He has contributed extensively to the Industry 4.0, automation, process control, industrial mathematics, and medical imaging technology, and has worked with leading organizations including Philips, Healthcare, Probe Marshall, ABB, L&T, John Deere, and Nuclear Power Corporation. Dr. Deshmukh also leads the Smart City project in Solapur as a senior project manager with IIT Bombay. He is the author of well-known books such as Microcontrollers, Theory and Application, and Functional MRI, Novel Transform Method. Has published numerous research papers and contributed chapter to international handbooks with his vast academic and industry experience. He has guided several training programs across India and abroad. Joining with him is Miss Nehal Badodkar, an AI and big data trainer, Gen AI consultant, and project manager with over 5 years of experience. She has delivered training and consulting for leading companies such as Microsoft, Amazon, and H&M, and trained students at reputed institutes including Chess University and DY Patil University. Key expertise includes generative AI, big data, cloud platform, and AI pipeline, making her a young leader in AI and emerging technology. And along with him, We also welcome Mr. Samay Kathe, who has completed his MSc in IMCA and is currently working as a senior software engineer in the R&D team of an IT organization. His core area of interest includes AI, machine learning, deep learning, generative AI, image processing, Python development, and data dashboard visualization. His project experience covers boiler data analytics, financial analytics for NPCI, NPL application, with a strong focus on implementing algorithms to solve real-life problems. We are truly privileged uh, to have him with us today. Let us all warmly welcome Dr. Ajay Deshmukh and his present join the Ajay Deshmukh and Snehal as well as Samay to enlightening us on AI in education. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Now over to you, sir. Yeah.
I hope soon you will see me from my laptop as well. We, I have also invited two of my colleagues, our team members who have done significant work in their own areas. In fact, Samay was active in uh, working on the project on boiler analytics for industry. So after applying these techniques for many such industry projects, we have come to the conclusion again that this is also useful in education. So we want to basically discuss on education as well. I will soon share my. I hope now you are able to listen me from my laptop. So I hope there are number of audiences who must be from academics and they know day-to-day difficulties in handling complex problems in education. And that is how I want to start with very brief, big picture and brief overview of this application of AI in education. I'm sharing my screen.
Dr. Deshmukh, your voice
Yes.
is cracked, echoing. Your voice is echoing,
1
doctor.
minute. 1 minute. I will just. There is some problem. I will just switch off one. Yeah. Now is it okay?
Yes, doctor, yes.
Yes, yes. Because
Yes, sir.
both of my devices were on, so this one. Sorry. Now I will share the slides, and actually this is out of my several years of experience as the head of the institute and as the professor of instrumentation engineering and post uh, activities related to industries which are outreach industrial activities. Many of those were through very reputed organizations like IIT Bombay and our university, SPPU, as well as our Bhaskaracharya Pratishthan and many colleges associated with us. And this has given a very different direction. In fact, in 2018, I could come out with a course on data analytics in education. So that time, AI buzzword was not striking so much, but it was also giving some warning that now the time has come that we need to deal with a big data. So I will show the slides. Already you must be seeing my screen, and these are the slides. So just I let somebody to acknowledge me that you are able to see my slides, and let me
Yes,
also
sir. Yes,
ensure
sir.
that Samay as well as Snail ma'am, they are with us. So I have already shared the slides with Samay as well in case if any difficulty comes. then he can also try to help me. So I think what I learned through my work as principal and as the decision maker for academic and research activities, as well as for industrial research and industry project also, that we are now entering into a big data kind of scenario. And somehow the paradigm shift is there, and many of us did not notice that this is now a big data as compared to small data. So in 2018 itself, I think 2017, there was a special lecture which I was presenting as a part of whatever I understood as the effect of Industry 4.0 as a paradigm shift in industry and its impact on education as well as industry, both, and research as well. So after that, many presentations and FDPs, I think I had presented on how the education has to evolve and how quickly we can align with the modern way of presenting education and what industry needs. In fact, what is on the focus as far as my views are concerned is the industry has to be on focus first, because they are the major stakeholders. And in fact, for many or other reasons, what is happening is people are not able to get a perception of how industry has to be interfaced with academic institutes. So many people have good linkages with industry. However, when a person like me, who, for example, what I learned over a period of 30 years, being in academics as well as conducting several corporate training programs for multinational and public sector units, where the understanding came, and even as the senior project manager of Smart City project, as she mentioned, and as the consultant to multinational companies for MRI and many automation companies as well, and many projects. So the understanding came that now that big data is coming in picture, and people should not just keep on watching the data. And the pattern which we are interested could properly so that it indicates the normal or abnormal situation, desirable or undesirable situation. And this is how any administrator, whether you are head of the department or even a laboratory professor in charge, or maybe library in charge, or principal or vice chancellors or directors of the institutes, what they face on day-to-day basis is the big data that is coming on their table or on their desktop, and then we do not know how to deal with that. And several such softwares have come up. Now, the change which we want to create is the earlier ERP kind of systems are not working now, because the shift in industry has already taken place, that their ERPs are being replaced by plant analytics and business analytics. So those are combined together because of many reasons. And now this is the new striking point where people are working in industry and business. However, now in academics, we also follow traditional systems, and presently everybody knows, but people have started using AI tools, and somehow they are able to manage. Many people have learned very quickly some of the AI tools and use of chat GPT or many such tools and some online resources. But now the overall picture is the major areas of focus. In fact, today's discussion is we want to understand the basic motivation, first of all, behind this AI in education, and where you need big data analytics, where machine learning is required, or deep learning, and where what kind of dashboards which we want to create. In fact, I have requested somebody that he can show one or two dashboards which could be quite useful for any colleges. See that very simple thing which we try to do it manually, like taking attendance. Now slowly many procedures have come up, that automated attendance systems, and how do we manage even the even attention of the people, and whether they are interactive, and what is the overall performance of the classroom. In fact, these are all the things which come. But at the top, what is addressing, uh, what is asking us to address is the industry requirement, and whether the output that is coming from colleges is easily compatible with the industry, and whether we do really what industry means. Because this is the ecosystem which combines both education and industry and research institutes together. And then this is going to work for a longer duration. So this is the life cycle which we want to create. And therefore, one of the topics which I am going to address in my presentation is the life cycle management using AI, because again, you're dealing with big data analytics. Now, some of the in is it is a life cycle management. For example, energy, environment, entrepreneurship, and you put so many other things as well based on the requirement and economy. Of course, economy is the major uh, uh, objective in all this. So it will be based on the circle, and then you manage the life cycle management. But dealing with this problem of life cycle management is not so easy because of the big data, and then how exactly the system should work is a curiosity. And I will be telling basic motivation like smart laboratory. In fact, we have come out with a smart laboratory where you can perform experiment in the classroom itself and then use all the linear algebra, because now I'm promoting a lot of mathematics, being the director of Center for Industrial Mathematics at Bhaskaracharya Pratishthan, Pune. And the industrial mathematics, mainly, it is the mathematics which works in the machines and processes. It's not the mathematics which we write on the paper, but implicitly it is the functioning of the machines and processes which is governed by mathematics. And this mathematics has a lot of importance. Similarly, physics comes, and then many other scientific subjects, chemistry and biology, where the mathematics runs hand in hand with the subject matters as well as with the industry, machines and processes. So how to deal with such problems? So smart laboratory is one thing, and then it may also allow us to use industry data for research and learning, which is because this problem which I could detect in one of the colleges where they had sugar factory, and then I thought that the sugar factory itself is the biggest laboratory. What kind of small laboratories we have? And then if they give us permission to use the data somehow without disturbing them, so it is the live industry data which can use. But today, many industry will allow, if we have proper MOU, in fact, only to get the data from industry machines and processes and use it for our research and academics as well, for experimental learning and experiential learning as well. So it can improve. Finally, the basic motivation at the cutting edge of any contemporary times is to find out what is deliverable to the industry through universities and colleges. Not only the manpower, but many other things. So the outline, maybe I have just told you the basic motivation in short, and now how AI works and all. And IoT data analytics, this has become a buzzword. When I first visited a chemical factory producing ethanol and paracetamol, so many big equipment like distillation column, fermentation units, and chillers and boilers, so many were there. And they asked me how exactly IoT looks like and how we can install it, whether our existing setup has to be made compatible with this or whether we need to discard certain things. So that was the starting. I think it was in 2018 when industry was talking like this. And today we are in, of course, already people have done lot many things in education. But today again, as a part of this particular FDP, we are talking about how IoT data analytics is useful and what kind of dashboards we create in order to have a better understanding. In fact, simply a notice board I could see in one of the colleges in Vidarbha region, and they could display the whole thing, the information. In fact, many people, they display what are the programs, events going on, and what are the important headlines in the college based on the activities and any information that is to be communicated. So that was a good idea, in fact. So I thought that dashboards can help us a lot to overcome many challenges, and this kind of information system for students and faculty members is quite interesting. Now, where decisions are to be taken, one of the challenges which we face normally, the work distribution, and maybe in any department, if you see work distribution and finding out expertise of each faculty member, and based on that, you allocate some projects or some seminars they conduct or some presentations they give, some lectures they conduct. So how do we exactly optimize these things? optimize be the best one that you can offer to the students and learners. So data collection is also equally important task. How to present that information regarding safety, security. There are many such things which we can automate, and this is how dashboards can help us. So very important thing is any decision that you take. See, it has a bigger and wider impact on all the students and faculty and staff members in any educational institute and on all the stakeholders. So we have to be very much uh, uh, alert in terms of taking decisions on the spot sometimes. So you need to carry out a lot of action research. So AI can support us. What are the previous case studies and how they acted upon and what will the suit or best solution for this. So I think these are the things which could be uploaded to AI agents. In fact, decision of any branch, for example, a student want to join a particular college and which branch somebody should take and what is the future of a particular course for a particular student. So a lot of personalization and then customization could be made, and while imparting that curricula as well, it will be very clear. In fact, if you address a student for a particular industry, then that curricula could be automatically coming in picture, and they would be taught according to those things. So very adaptive learning method could be implemented based on the interest. In fact, this is what we used to do even for in-presence learning in industry. So industry people sometimes they ask us, you cover this topic, and then we need to maybe before the course ends, we need to address those topics as well. So AI empowered systems for learning, managing the life cycle, as I told you, these are some of the AI application. Now, just tell you in very brief, like what is the current stage, what are the benefits and how we can transform the education. In fact, being only fond of AI is not good enough. In fact, we must learn AI, and there are challenges in learning the AI tools, which perhaps our people, Samay and Sailbab will tell us soon after some time. But let me tell you that we have to be very perfect when we use AI, and it is not that something should go beyond our control. Presently, we use maybe we are not in 5G kind of society. We are in industry 4.0. So that means we have to instruct some system, and then according to that, it will function. And therefore, in order to derive better benefits of AI, we need to be very careful. And intelligent tutoring system is there, for example, enhanced accessibility, automated grading system, attendance, feedback. I think these are some of the simple things which you can easily do that. Now, any institute can perhaps list out certain activities which could be offloaded to AI agent. I think this is the best administrative decision with any head of the institute and heads of the departments and senior faculty member they can have in any college. And I think that will give us the direction. There are some guidelines and from UNESCO, and then I think that is openly available on maybe just Google that and you'll find out that there are some UNESCO guidelines for AI in education. Then what is the framework of using AI in education? So it is left up to all the participants to find out what they want to understand from these guidelines and how they can create a framework of AI in education in their own institute. So, for example, natural language processing, virtual reality, AR, VR, these are some of the interesting things for training people. Maybe AR, VR could be much better experiential learning using AR, VR, then maybe content creation. And there are so many challenges. For example, AI literacy has to come up. Many people, they need to understand what are the ethical issues and how we can provide better services to people. In fact, that should be at the outset, somebody should remember. Not only somebody can just get part of AI, but what are the deliverables? Whether it is really improving the efficiency of teaching learning process, and whether the students are really useful to industry or entrepreneurship or startup or whatever they want to do, higher education or research. And then how do we protect the students' data and faculty data, and how do we take better decision with transparency. And there are future trends out of this discussion. I would like to invite again Sabai to show some examples, because I don't want to just bombard with several things. I have a two-day workshop which I already we conduct at several places on data analytics in education, and now AI empowered data analytics plus education, and some of the laboratory solutions for research and for industrial activities are also tried and ready with us. But now let us not make a very big thing initially. Let us make it simple, and one or two things if you start implementing, I think people they can do much better at their end, rather than just be instructing everything. So in autonomous environment, for example, nothing works whenever we instruct. Make it to come spontaneously like a tree, and then this is how AI in education could be slowly established in any of the either affiliated or autonomous environment. So spontaneous acceptance of the whole system could be there. A lot of teacher supports could be created, and we can create presentation and then templates and some seminar reports and abstracts of AI education. Maybe free downloads are there, so people can use that, or whatever information that is available in public domain or AI. For example, this PPT could be there, and you can edit the slides and then improve upon that and make it a very quick presentation. Then some of the key issues: personalized learning, intelligent tutoring system, automated grading, and virtual assistant, and benefits and challenges of all these things could be immediately brought out. And there are some tips which I would like to present here, like can use multimedia and incorporate some images, videos, audios to make the lectures or content more dynamic. And people now they want to find out what are the instantaneous changes in the information or knowledge that is available, and you can change the contents dynamically. Then there are maybe other things like quiz and competitions and interactive activities by which we can improve the active participation of the learner, and utilize AI generated visuals, maybe leveraging AI tools to generate a lot of graphs, charts, diagrams, and you can show those on dashboards. There are many good tools. I'm just listing here, but some of those could be explained by Snail, Bhaskar, ma'am, and Sabai as well. So AI tools, for example, Fetchy or Magic School, which I think Sabai is going to tell us, best teaching and canvas for education, canvas for education, and AI tools, maybe including Math GPT Pro, or there are many more. So people already they know that. For example, Turbo Learn is one, and there are so many other things as well. I'm not going to just list out all those things, but as you like, you can go for a particular tool. So maybe these are some more of the Google Scholar and maybe Billboard and many things people they use nowadays. So I think somebody has to find out what is of interest to them and get into that. Definitely refer the UNESCO guidelines and form your own opinion, and it could also decide upon the kind of academic framework for AI in education. And there are other tools like Gradescope and Dance Dragons, so speech recognition and Otter AI, for example. Many times now, I think Bharutkar madam will tell you how it could be used. And then now the time has come when I request Sabai to first demonstrate one or two things. I hope Sabai is here. Can you acknowledge me so that I can stop sharing, and then followed by Sabai, then Sneha Bharutkar and will also present door, and then we have some discussions in between. If you have any questions between this switch, you can ask me. I will just uh, maybe stop sharing the slides, and so Sabai can take over. Sabai, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Yes, yes. So you can maybe unmute your video first and let people know
Yeah, sure, sure.
who
Yes.
is speaking. Yeah. And
Yeah.
similarly, I can also request to unmute the video so that they will know you. So who are
Yes,
speaking
sure. I'll
and
be doing that.
uh,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes, just
yeah,
give me a minute.
yeah. So already you know me, so I will switch off my video as well, but others can, other speakers can take over the session and you can share whatever you want.
Yes, I'll be sharing my screen as well.
Yeah.
Yes. So yes, I guess I'm visible to you all. I'll be sharing my
Yes, sir.
screen
Yes.
as well. So let's start with the tool that we all use, and we have been using it since a long time. So I'll be sharing my screen as well for that purpose. So yes, there are several tools currently in the market related to AI, whether it's a particular we can say a text generating tool or a image generation tool, or maybe a particular tools which involve creation of dashboards, creation of PPTs, creation of slides. So for all of this purpose, various tools are available for us. So the most common tool. So wait, is my uh, is my video lagging or as such, or is it creating an issue? Is my screen clearly visible to you all?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So yes, I'll be sharing. So all of you know this tool, which is ChatGPT. So let's not go into much details of it, but it's simply like the tool which helps us to generate text or generate images or answer the questions based on the images. So similarly, there are multiple tools in the market. So I'll be sharing first tool with you, which is one of which is similar to ChatGPT, which is Perplexity AI. So you can see you can generate a new chat window similar to our ChatGPT. But what you can do here is you can simply add a research column in this where you can have this particular thing, whether you want what kind of chat do you want, and then when you put it on research mode, like it's not a it's a paid option for us, but if you see particular thing, you can have your own new option, and if you search on that if you search a particular thing on that, like for example previously I searched for state research articles on polar residues in mathematics. So what it will do is it will list me all the articles related to that, and it will help us to understand what are the research papers already available, which will help us to learn more out of it and explore more out of it. Here you can even add more sessions as you want. So if I add some chat, so I want to know about field of, for example, string theory. This is a terminology. So what it will do is it will explore all the contents. It will answer. If I specifically enter, it has given me just information. But if I ask specific things about, if I want research papers, so what it will do is, so it's still generating. What it will do is it will basically answer me these questions regarding to this particular like topic which I want. So let it answer. So basically what happens is whenever we search on AI, it will take time. It will just go through all the links. You can also follow all these links here. You can see if you click on these links, you can particularly get the research papers related to this. Similarly, like if you want, so for general purpose, or we can say most of the purposes are satisfied by ChatGPT, but if you are focusing on some particular things, different types of LLMs are tuned are tuned to do different types of things. For example, some LLMs are specifically tuned for generating images. Some LLMs are specifically tuned to search for we can say any kind of research paper or search articles. Some LLMs are fine tuned to do some logical calculations. So different LLMs have different advantages which you can consider using. So one of the tools that they have used or they have combined is this Magic School. So if you log in into Magic School, so it's just a simple, if you Google that term Magic School, you will get the magicschool.ai. They have provided us different options. So whether if we have a question or a request, or whether we are having there is an option to create worksheet, or whether we want to create any multiple choice question or an assessment, we all can do these things here. So if I'm trying to create a multiple choice or an assessment, so I can just enter what kind of like grade I want.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you, but the screen is so blurred, sir. Can you please
Okay.
reshare the window?
Okay, I'll just do one thing for now. Yes, I'll just reshare it, but I'll just keep my camera off this time so that it gives me more bandwidth for the. So is my screen visible?
But not
Yes, sir, but
that much
not
clear, sir. It's blur.
Is it still blur?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Let me see if there is some option while I do that. Okay, let me try to use some different browser. Let's see if it works. Let me try joining from another browser. Probably.
yes, sir. Now the screen is clearly visible, sir. Yeah.
I think Samay sir is not there. Hello.
Okay, so can you hear me right now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, sorry for that. There was some issue. Now is my screen visible to you all? So is it
Yes.
still blur?
No, no.
Okay, so there must be some issue with the Safari browser, I guess then. Okay, anyways, so let me just share my content. So let me know if my screen is clearly visible to you all.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir. It is
sounds good.
visible.
Okay,
Thank
sounds
you.
good. So, okay, so if I go to Magic Tools and like if I check for tools, we can add our own tools here. So if I click on create and I can create my own collection here. So what we can do here is basically we can use this Magic School actually provides me so many tools for my use. For example, here we are having this particular thing where we can ask this AI chatbot, which is similar to GPT. Then the second is basically you can this is like this recommends us the tools needed for our specific needs. This is a worksheet generator. This is an image generator. So you guys must be familiar with the terminal familiar with the particular llama of the what which is available in the WhatsApp. So we use this meta llama in WhatsApp. Here there we can get images generated or answers generated, but this is specifically curated for educational needs. So whenever you create a new account on this Magic School, they will ask you your preferences, what kind of teachers you are and everything. Means what subjects do you teach and which standard do you teach and everything, and they will just tune this particular models for your needs. So there is this option. For example, I'll be showcasing you one of the option, which is multiple choice or a quiz generation kind of thing. So here we can just enter whatever particular grade we want, how many questions we want to generate, and we can just enter a particular topic of a question. So for example, here if I'm having a topic uh, which states that I'm telling it a topic, and we don't need to be very like clear with the spellings and everything. Of course, this AI assistant can do this work. So story of a human which like throws ball at some speed and it reaches a like ground, and then we can just enter a particular topic of the question. So basically, so we can just add it here, and then command. Okay, fine. It was okay. Then we can enter this particular thing. Then we can just tell it all the calculations in MKS or CGS system. So we can just enter whatever we want, and then we can just ask it to generate the questions. So what it will do is it will basically take the topic, it will generate the question, and it will just give you MCQ kind of questions. So we can even ask it to like generate theoretical kind of questions. So this is one of the thing. Yes, there's something wrong with my network, I guess. So I'm generating it right now. So here we are having this kind of questions. We can get all those questions generated, and then we can just use these questions for the students. So this was one of the thing where Magic School comes into picture. So this is one of the AI tool that we are using. So what other options does it provide is basically it will give us an option to generate image. So if you go to a particular image generator tool, so it will just basically yeah, this is a Safari browser I'm using, but I'll show you something similar to this. So this is an Adobe it uses Adobe image generators AI in the backend. So what this includes is it includes different types of AI applications. So this may be using some different type of AI application, this will be using some different AI application, this will be using some different AI application. So what is in the backend is different AIs, and for now I can tell you some of the most commonly used AIs. So They include basically okay. So one of the well-known AI that you know is GPT by OpenAI. OpenAI, we have this Chat GPT. Then there is this Perplexity. Then we are having this Meta, which Meta is a one which makes LLMs, like LLMs means large language models, which is capable of answering your questions, like whichever or basically they are the text generating or image generating LLMs. Then we are having this Phi model, Phi by Microsoft. So Microsoft's Phi model. Then we are having, there are like so many different kinds of LLMs, and which these LLMs help us to like do different kinds of tasks. So if you check, if you go to Google and if you just directly compare, let's say GPT versus Phi. Okay, so if you just compare, and if you just get those get these images, as simple as this, so you can understand different different okay, this is a better one to show. So these are the different benchmarks on which these LLMs are compared. So let's say 5-4. So they have compared this on the basis of like STEM level reasoning. So this reasoning kind of tasks, then mathematics kind of task, then there is this general knowledge related question. So what happens is we cannot say that every LLM, like there is an LLM which exceeds in all of those parameters. There are some parameters, there can be some LLMs which are good in mathematics, but there are some LLMs which will be more like better at coding tasks, or there will be some LLMs which will be good at answering a Q&A on the basis of available information. So there are these different LLMs, and you can just simply use this LLMs for completing your tasks or whatever things you want to deploy online. So there is this one more thing that comes into picture is whenever we are using any kind of LLM, what happens is whenever we let's say we are having this particular chat GPT kind of a model. So what we do is basically we all use this model, but what we can do here is if you go into its settings, like when you enter any kind of text, it will just answer it all. And if you go to particular settings of GPT, what it does is if you go to data controls, okay, we are having this parameter which is improve the model for everyone. So what it will do is whatever information you are giving to GPT, it will basically not just keep it okay, it will keep it private, it won't share it with the people, but it will try to use it for improving its model. So there are some situations where some of the research related work or some of the organizations need to keep their information private or codes private. So for that purpose, what you can do here is you can basically just simply turn off this improve the model. So still there are some organizations like which need a very high kind of we can say security, or they do not want their information to be shared at all with GPT or any kind of organization. Or there can be organizations which require an LLM to do only particular kind of task. For example, there is this LLM which teaches you mathematics, so it needs the people only to do mathematics. So what you can do is there are multiple platforms. I'll just show you one of those. There is this website olama.com. So there are such multiple websites that you can see. There are different kinds of models. So I have used this like all of these models are freely available, and you can use it at a personal level. At commercial level, some of the models may require licensing, but you can just implement your code or your these things in your software to get your own can say own running llama model. So what we have done is basically we have okay, so here if you can see, I have started one of the code which has this particular models. Okay, so I am giving it some name. So this is something that is developed by our end. So this is similar to our technology stack of this particular magic school, but this is something that we have implemented on our own, and we can create own such models custom for our requirements. Or if anyone has requirements, we can help you to do that. So what is done in this is basically when you run this code, particularly this is just a like web UI kind of application, and when you run, I'm just gaming it some history, so something to remember. So I wanted to remember, let's call it AI for everyone. Let's name it AI for everyone. Okay, so I am chatting with this chatbot kind of thing, which is implemented at my local. Okay, so I guess, okay. So now this is entirely running at my local PC. So you can see I'm just using a like old computer, but still you can see it's a very lightweight LLM. It may not be as powerful as GPT, but yes, different tasks require different level of this language models. So if I ask it, help me solve a maths problem. Okay, and I'm just sending it. So it will just try its best to chat with me, answer. What it will do is, you can just save, you have just saved this history, but now I want this LLM to be like, this LLM is kind of all in one, and it is shortened LLM. But if I want this LLM to perform a particular task, so I am just adding it, adding a prompt. You are in mathematics teacher, help students to learn mathematics and avoid any other questions. So I know if this LLM is good at mathematics, and I'll just ask it to stick to mathematics, and I'll just ask like tell it to ignore all other things. So what will happen now is, I'm just executing this code and I'm asking it to answer. So now tell me about let's say tell me about quadratic polynomials. Okay, so I have just enter. So if I am just entering this information here. Okay, and now I'm asking it, so it will give me all the required information. Okay, and so this all the things can be controlled from our code, but now I have just kept it to maximum. So how much, like it will try to generate as long as it feels like the answer is complete. Okay, so let's just stop this for now. I mean this part, and I'll just simply ask it a next question. Tell me about let's say, so this is a very lightweight model, so I'm not expecting it to be correct, but tell me about general knowledge about let's say general knowledge about a monument. Okay, I'm not specifying it. Okay, so it is, so you can see it's not able to do reasoning things very well. Okay, so what we can do here is we can just apply one more of a strong like LLM, which will be able to answer mathematics related questions only. Means it will be able to filter this mathematics related questions, and it will just stick to that particular thing. Like it will just oh sorry, I just forgot one thing. It's not just about the strength of the LLM. I forgot to refresh this after I run it. So let's give it some other name and tell me about capitals, capital letters, for example. My bad. Okay, so you can still see, if you see, it is answering other questions as well apart from mathematics. So this is a very lightweight LLM which I'm using. So it has no information as such. So it is not able to answer logical questions still, but it is still at the level at which I'm running. Like I'm running this on my local PCs, it is good. But, and if you see one more thing about this model, you can observe this list of models. If you check the model that I am running, so it's going to So if you see, I'm using this 1B model. So now you can imagine this 1B model is of just 1.3 GB. So imagine the chat GPT, which is worth 1 terabyte. So kind of not 1 terabyte, it's actually several terabytes. It goes beyond 1000 GB. And here this 1.3 GB. So you can see, if you see the storage space that has been utilizing, that has been utilized for simple apps. Nowadays it goes in few MBs up to GB. So it's just a small size of a model which is able to answer things on local. So similarly, you can just find all the models. So instead of this model, if I try to implement some of the model, which is 70B, or let's say if I'm considering Llama 3 models, let's say 70B model. So see, you can see this model, its model size is 40 GBs. So, and of course, the execution of this model will take a long time. So I will recommend not to use it on your local computers, but rather like a workstations kind of a thing where you can just deploy these models and use them, and you can just make them available at your local. So these are just text-based models. There are also multimodal or image generation models. So if I am putting image, so you can see Llama 3.2 Vision. Okay, so here we can see, as the name suggests, it was specifically built for Llama, Olama, but yes, it can handle other models as well. So similarly, different kinds of models are available, which are called as which are called as multimodal models. So what happens in this model is it not only generates text, it's able to interpret through images. Some of them are also able to generate images. So if you see, there is this face space called Hugging Face space. So here you can just find different kinds of models here, and when you observe, there are some of the models. So there is this image generation model you can use. So you need to log in, of course, but there are different images. So generate images from text prompts. You can find different kinds of models here. Okay, so you can just enter your prompt here. You can just ask it to run, and you can just ask it to generate an image. So image of a classroom, for example. I think it requires a login, and it's freely available, but yes. So at backend, they have this GPUs available. You can use them to do your task, whether it's an image 2D to 3D conversion, or whether it's a particular you can say thing related to particular thing related to answering your questions. So answering and such a things are done by our Perplexity and other kind of things as well. But if you talk about this particular image generation thing, you need a GPU based session, and you can get it easily either by deploying your own models or using some of the available things in like Perplexity or GPT. Also, it's limited, but yeah, then you can do these things on Copilot. So if you are using Copilot, you can still generate images. Then there are some other things as well, like you can see consider using a particular Hugging Face model. So all of these models are given some spaces on the Hugging Face, and you can just simply use it for your use cases. So I would say just you try to do that. And there is this one more thing I would like to share with you. Okay, wait, how would I share it with you? Okay, just you can see there is this image of a classroom. So it took time, but you can see the clarity of the image we get here. So you can just simply change all these things in advanced setting, like how much resolution and you want and everything, so that you can get it as a for ease. So I'll be sharing one last thing with you before I conclude this. So this is one of the interesting posts that I came across. So my currently my screen is not available to you, right? It's not visible. Is it visible?
Not yet, sir.
Isn't okay, not yet. Okay, fine. Just give me a minute. I'll be doing it. There's this post I came across. I'll be showing this to you. Okay. This is one of the thing. I'll just share it, and you can take it screenshot if you want. This is one of the thing that Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you
It's
can
with
see some of the things. It is an old file, so you can add more to this list, like as a part of your activity, and it will also help you to do simple things. So there is this thing which is called a chat GPT. In this, you can also get things like perplexity or different kind of different other AI kind of options are available. So write anything. So it's about writing some kind of articles and things. So like you can help use it to write some of the creative things. Then there is this mid journey which helps you to create artworks. This replit, so now this is replit is also good, but nowadays you can also use other applications like GPT and perplexity. So yeah, there is this replacement. Then there is the synthesia which helps you generate videos. Then there is this particular uh, sound draw which helps you generate music. So there are some of the important factors. So you must have taken this screenshot, but some of the important things that you can try is you can try slides.ai. So slides.ai is an interesting thing for creating presentations as well. So if you go to any of the thing, that is Google Slides. So if you just go to Google Slides, okay, here you will get an power option of extension. Okay, in extensions, in add-ons, you can just go to get add-ons, and if you don't already have it, you can just search it here. So okay, go. Okay, so here you can just search slides. Okay, so slides AI. So here you can just go to this extension. Now I have already installed this extension, but you can just install this extension slides.ai. There are multiple such extension. I am not promoting any particular kind of thing. I'm just like inspiring you so that you can also explore more on this. And if you have certain use case, or if you need some like help with some use case, of course, me or sir will be available. Sir, ma'am will be available to you at any time. But yeah, this is one of the thing which will inspire you to create your own thing. So if you just use this particular extension, so just install it, and afterwards you can just call that extension, like in your extension, create slides, generate new slides. So you can just in this particular thing, it will just create a pop-up at the right side. Okay, now they have changed some of the things in UI, but yeah, kind of you can just so yeah, this process will be slow for you because of course it connects an entire application here. So what do you want presentation about? So if you have some rough notes or everything, so some of the things are paid. So for that purpose, you need to upgrade. So if you have some full draft or source material, you need to upgrade it. You need to pay for it. But if you say, if you enter your topic, so presentation about a particular thing. So now I won't be creating, but you can try it. So let's say, okay, let's try to make a simple about quadratic or simply polar residues, for example, used in mathematics. So if you want to create a presentation about it, you can just select this topic. Okay, so you can just do, I have, if you have rough notes, you can create rough notes. If you have this particular, you can just select, you have the topic. Okay, now the continue, I don't know why it's not available here. But yes, you can just add your content here. So now it's like it will take some time for now, but yes, let's not go into much details, but you can try this. Then you can enter your content, you can enter your instructions, specific instructions if you have, and everything, and just you can just proceed to the next thing. So I don't have a paid account, but if you have I guess I'm at the limit, but you can use different kinds of AI applications, and you can just continue, enter your topics, and it will just create a whole presentation for you. So I won't go into much details for presentation creation or image generation. This was my topic, was just to show you how you can use text-based LLMs and how you can use them to create your own codes or your own set of answers for a particular thing. And the second thing was to show you some of the tools. So in this, also like we saw the Magic School in this, they have used several LLMs, which helps you to write different things or generate different LLMs and as generate different images as such. So this was the main purpose for the or motivation behind this, to help you understand what are the different AI tools available and how you can just use them. So yes, if you guys have any questions based on this, or if you have any questions like whether you want to know about a particular tools for generation of a particular content, please feel free to ask. So this was from my side.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, please participant. If you have any doubt, you can ask. You can raise your hand. Yes, please. Bhausik, sir. Yes, Shinde, sir.
Am I audible, madam?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I want to ask to sir that which tools are useful for teachers for teaching and at the same time which can give benefit for preparing different notes and preparing our traditional method into online method, so that whether some tools can help to prepare these teaching things into some 3D animated like models or something like that. So can you suggest some tools, sir?
Yes. So there are a number of tools for that purpose. So one of the tools, so if you check on Hugging Face, so I'll just share my screen once. But before that, I'll just come to the content. Before that, I'll just tell you a few things. Like there are certain models of Hugging Face which helps us to convert any 2D shapes into 3D shapes. If you want to know, like if you have a particular kind of an image and if you want to convert it into 3D, you can even use similar kind of tools. But yes, if you talk about conversion from 2D to 3D kind of things, of course, when you work with images, it will take a lot of resources. So you can just find them on Hugging Face spaces. But for now, regarding teaching, if we talk specific things about teaching, so one of the tool that I showed here, which was like the Magic School one. So there are some other tools as well. So which, yeah, just give me a minute. Let me see if this Hugging Face space is working. That will let you know. So, okay, fine. Anyways, so there is this particular thing. So you can just use this particular like Magic School for generating every images and everything. So you will just find all of these things included in it. But if you are planning to create particular content like exam related content or anything, so you can just simply go with our basic GPT, or there is this like udai.ai, which helps to create lesson plans or worksheets. Then there is this query pod, if you can note it, CURI which will help us to make interactive slides, or similarly like slides.ai. There is this teachmate.ai, which helps to plan, grade, and everything. Then we are having even assessments related AIs. For example, we are having this quiz.ai, or there is a particular gradescope.ai. There are certain applications similar to that. For image creation, you can consider getting a Canva, because the Canva and its like AI tools help us to create a lot of interesting, or we can say a very nicely representative images for a particular thing. And this Canva tool is also widely used in current IT or technological and technology based industries to create different kind of images and presentations. So this was some of the tools, and of course, at the if you need a particular application tuned to your needs, so you can even think about like creating your own custom application or fine tune a particular application. For example, GPT, and you can just create its chain to create a application which will uh, help you to generate different kinds of things, whether it's an image generation, whether it's a question generation. So yeah, these are some of the
So,
tools.
and sir, I have heard that see, theoretically, when we are reading some concepts, okay, so some tools are available. Likewise, when you paste these particular lines into that particular prompt, then you are getting related image and some you can say some animated video or something images. Likewise, means it is auto generated. So, do you know
Yes.
about that?
I have seen some of the models on Hugging Face, to be honest, but my work usually involve is around, we can say, generating images or for a
Hmm.
particular thing. But for animated images, I need to I have not seen much of the use cases, or the material is less regarding that. But yeah, definitely I may need some time, and I will just check on Hugging Face and come up with some of the answer. But for now, generating an animated image takes a lot of load on a particular PC. So generally these models are not freely available. And of course, these are some of the heavy end models if you are talking about video generation. So if you see, if you have tried generating images on our WhatsApps, like Meta, you would have like the Meta available on WhatsApp. You can see the image generation takes time, and video or a GIF or particular used for a particular teaching will certainly take much more time than that, because of course the video is a combination of images. So I would say it is a kind of a heavy process, and some kind of heavy LLMs are required for it. But you will definitely find some of the LLM over the Hugging Face space.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yes, Dr. Bilal sir, do you want to ask?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I
Thank you.
want to get what is the difference between Slides AI and Gamma? How will you compare it?
Slides AI and
Gamma,
Llama.
Gamma AI.
Gamma.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the spelling of gamma?
GAMMA.
Okay. So okay. So basically, Gamma AI is kind of a thing that generates slides as well. And if you say talk about Slides AI, it also generates some slides as well. Okay. So if you talk about different LLMs, so like just before I come to this point, are you aware about, do you frequently use ChatGPT? Like, are you aware about different models of ChatGPT, like GPT-3, GPT-4?
Yes, a little bit.
Okay, so you can see each of the model has some of the advancements over its previous model. So they have improved its parameters, they have improved its number of neural processing, number of neurons or number of layers. They have adjusted it, they have added some more layers. They may have made models slightly heavier or lighter, but they are aiming for the increase in performance. So if you compare any two LLMs, like any two kind of models, so you will find some of the positive points, some of the negative points. So what this positives and negatives revolve around is, so initially if you compare any two LLMs, you can see that an LLM, if you see ChatGPT, it was better at answering the questions, as you say, precisely. If you see the Gemini, which was initially bad, it used to answer your questions in more detail way. But sometimes the answer was not exactly relevant to question. For example, if I ask it some question, like like if I tell it, tell me about a particular formula for velocity. So it used to answer me the formula for velocity, and it used to give me description of everything, which may sometimes not be needed. Like, okay, describing variables is necessary, but too much of a description is not okay. So that was done by Bard initially, but GPT used to answer it in a precise way. So every time a particular LLM is used or particular model is used, what happens is they have different focuses. So if you just directly compare it, like Slides AI and Gamma AI, you will find like their differences. For example, you can say that Gamma AI is more like, initially when Gamma AI was came into picture, it was moreover designed for some modern or visually rich formats, slides. And Slides AI was kind of a formal thing. But of course, the presentations need to be formal. So I am not saying that modern presentations are not formal. Of course, they are formal, but you can see the color schemes and everything. So you can even see that there were some options, like there were some more options like real-time analytics and everything, which was available in Gamma AI. Slides AI didn't provide them initially. So each of these like AI tools have their models upgraded very frequently. Like their models sometimes get upgraded as frequently as every month. So there are certain focuses that they do. For example, slide.ai works is meant to be it is a slightly lightweight, but it's a consistent model. Gamma AI will give you more like modern or more, we can say, visually rich themes. It will even give you more nice formulation, but sometimes it's like a more elaborative thing. So this is the basic difference I can tell you for now. But of course, the more you use it, you can just understand the difference between these two models. And of course, these differences, like their focuses would be the same, but you can say their models will be improving each month. So if you are talking about this month, and my answer would be slightly different in next month, like what additional changes they have made in this model. So every time you look at any kind of LLM, its new version is available over the internet, which focus on some or the other thing. It's just which experience do you like the most, which kind of slides do you like the most, and which suits to your more need. That's more important here.
Thank you. Since most of us are higher education teachers here, can you tell us a little bit about prompt engineering?
Okay. Yes, sure. So basically what happens here is when you talk about any prompt that is given to like AI, for example, it's whether it's an image generation, whether it's a text generation. So let's just imagine a text generation LLM in front of our eyes rather than image generation. So it works similarly for image generation, but image generations have some different additional parameters and everything. So uh, okay. So what I want to say here is they have a particular. So if you talk about LLMs, so LLMs are definitely based on kind of transformer-based models. Most of them are based on transformer-based models. What happens here is what LLM does is it gathers information from two sources. One is their own LLM learning. So when an LLM is trained, it has some own learning, like which words are closer to which words and which words to be spoken. For example, whenever it's writing a particular text, it generates word by word. If you see, it generates everything word by word. So if you are talking about a particular, let's say it's a, if you ask LLM to generate a particular story, involve a particular moral story, let's say involving uh, some kings and as such things. So if you talk about this story, what it will do is it will just start with king story, then it will just try to connect a next word to it. So once there was a, so what will be the next word after that? King. Then what should be the next word after that? There was a king. So it will either it will end a statement, or it will just in a particular distant country, for example. So it will just try to get it word by word. So one word is generated at a time based on all the words available, and it's like you can say a vector graph of all the words, where all the words are connected with each other in a format of a, you can say, multi-dimensional thing, and whenever you generate an answer, the most best suitable word, like when a four words appear, like once there was a, what will be the ideal word when we are writing a story about a king? So once there was a palace, or once there was a king, so palace, king, and all these words are given a choice, and the best word is chosen. And if two or three words are there at that best level, then one of the random word is chosen. So what happens in all this LLMs is how the word is chosen is like topic of a discussion here. So what happens here is it chooses the word based on its probability. So you can say there is this format, first thing which is called as temperature. So in any kind of LLM there is this thing called as temperature, which tells you how much creative or how much you can say either an answer is creative, or then or else it's a fact based answer. So it will, you can set this parameter. So if you set it to 50-50, it will try to generate an answer which is balanced. Okay, if you say ask it to be creative, and if you ask about, tell me about a particular character, so what it will do is it will just try to creatively tell you if it does not have a good information about it. But if you ask it to be like stick to facts, and if you ask it about a character or a person it doesn't know about, it will just say, okay, I don't know about this person. So when you talk about all these things, so you must take care that what your parameters of LLMs are. First of all, when you talk about every like these parameters and all, you can just understand, like it will just try to find out the nearest words and everything. So one spelling mistake is not going to matter, it's the entire context that matters. So when you write a entire context for an LLM, so the basically there are three things when you talk about any kind of prompt. One of them is system prompt, one of them is, yeah, you can say role related prompt, and one of them is like question related, or you can say the user text related prompt. So user text related prompt is something that is available to us in ChatGPT. So whatever we type, it's like a user related prompt. So if you are typing something for a GPT, or typing something for a Meta Llama, it's a your user based prompt. System based and role based prompt are not available for users. They are designed by the company, or if you are just basically creating your own LLM, then you can have the control over these prompts. So what system based prompt does is it basically tells you the rules or the instructions needed for a system. For example, an instruction is given, no matter what user says, be polite to the user. Okay, no matter what user says. So even if user uses some kind of inappropriate language, or asks you some kind like some questions in a very rude way, the model has default things in its mind to be polite. So these all things come into the system prompt. Second is role prompt. The role prompt, what it does is I ask, tell it, okay, be a teacher, or for example, be a like an AI assistant, and refrain from answering you can say questions about refrain from answering personal questions about a user. So if I go to GPT and ask, okay, fine, tell me a particular phone number of a celebrity, it won't do that, because it we have told it what is its role is. It's an AI assistant meant to answer the questions, keep like considering the people's privacy and everything. So these all things are put into, first is system related prompt, which gives you like set of instructions. Second is uh, you can say role related, which tells the role of the LLM, and third is our prompt, so which this prompt is completely handled by users. So what we can do here is, sometimes when we enter any kind of text, we must try to make sure that it our LLM understands the text in a, or any kind of question very precisely. Okay, spelling mistakes are still fine, but try to keep the questions as short as possible. So if you are asking a particular thing, okay, tell me about this particular thing, try to keep it precise. So when I want this LLM, okay, whatever I'm telling you, answer the questions in a nice clear way. Okay, do not give very large answers. So instead of that, you can just simply tell it, answer the questions in answer the questions precisely. So try to use as less words as you can. So I'm not saying don't enter full paragraphs and all. Then second thing you can do in prompt is just avoid confusing things. Like don't put some contradictory things, like answer, do not answer the question if you don't know the answer, and then again you put, okay, answer the question with some of your own creative stories. If you don't have the answer, so don't put such a like confusing terminologies. Then whenever you enter some number or everything, put some comma or a new line or everything. So these are some of the basic things you can just do while creating your own prompts. So what this prompt engineering is, prompt engineering you can say basically is allowing users to enter the prompt, at the same time deciding your system prompt and role as well. So this is all the things that you do in prompt engineering in a short.
Thank you very much.
Yes, one more participant had have raised her hand. Supriya madam. Hello.
Yes.
Yes, Supriya madam.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. So I just wanted to know are there any tools to use or create the simulation of any topic, technical topic, or we can refer
Uh,
any tool or any portal or site so that we can use that for the simulation and we can refer that in the class.
it was similar question that was asked in first. I mean, of course, your question is different, but first part of it would involve the answer that I gave earlier, which was you can refer to Hugging Face for such simulation tools. So if you go to Hugging Face spaces, you can definitely find some of the new tools. If you are talking about simulation as in generating what we speak and what we say, and of course, if you talk about simulation regarding things generating or simulating these things takes a lot of like processing power. So of course, these tools are expensive. Like they are very damn expensive, I would say. So here you can just try to consider some simple simulation tools freely available on Hugging Face. And if you are talking about real time generation, it's slightly difficult, at least for now. Maybe in future there will be such fast processors and everything which will be available at lesser price, then it would be easier. Second thing, if you're talking about simulating as in if you're talking about having an AI to generate some speech or teaching with some expressions done in the backend. So yes, there are some kind of avatars and such technologies available over the internet. So I'm not sure, but reminiscence AI and some similar things are there, which for example, resemble.ai, which have some of the avatars which can talk and you can just give them their, or you can just decide their voice and everything. So there are some technologies which help you to create clone your voice or such a things, which will help people to just type text and that will be given in that person's avatar and person's voice, like, or the voice that person choose. So that is possible. Speech and other things, simulation regarding speech and similar things are is possible. But if you talk about, like, if I'm teaching and I want this to generate a simple images regarding that, it's possible. But if you're talking about, I will be talking about a thing and I can see a video of like, for example, electrons rotate revolving around the atom and everything. So this kind of simulation, it is will take processing power. So this is not at least available directly for now. I mean, it's available, but in terms of processing power, it's not available for our daily use.
Okay, sir. Actually, I have seen one tool, but that is only I have seen that observe that only for the physics mostly. So I was thinking that is there any tool which we can refer for the like representing the ML? What is ML exactly? Kind of. So at least a few part of your topic like regression, so for that purpose, so one tool is there. It is PHET. I don't know how to pronounce it, so I am pronouncing it, spelling it. But that is a tool which is used for the physics only. So I thought I'll get if I'll get the more tools which we can use to teach the machine learning.
Yes, such a similar tools are available, but if you see, these tools have already created the AI videos. It's not like they get created at runtime. Like they have all those elements created and they are just using it.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, if you're talking about, yes, that kind of tools are possible, which I mentioned earlier. Like if you are having some simple simulation tools like generating images and everything, and then these generated images get overlap and create things, it's possible.
No, sir, not generating the images. So for some kind of a regression or a kind of a moving, how it is moving, how it, because we cannot see the logic behind, I mean, how it is working, like if it is a black box. So we can show it through the simulation. At least it is little bit easy for us to make them understand for the students.
Yes. Yes, we
Right.
can
So
certainly try to do that. But yeah, simple simulations
we
would
can
be.
consider that as a research gap then.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, dear participants. Thank you, sir. Ajay, sir.
Yes.
Yes, Samay, sir. Shall I conclude, sir?
Yes, I'll be talking to Ajay sir.
In
I guess Ajay sir is
yeah,
speaking.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
not able
That's
to
right.
hear.
What I was telling that when we deal with AI, no, we just take assistance of or any sort of support from that, not the final decision in the present situation. Hello.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So this was my just remark on what people may pursue in future. Uh, in the modern times, even today, unless we have some more development in AI, and even for we are talking about AI in education, and we also dealt with the problems like AI in healthcare and AI in power sector, agriculture, manufacturing, process industry. So everywhere we have a common thinking that it can just give us a prima facie solution, and we need to confirm that this is the correct one. So experts are required still to decide upon the final decision. So AI opinion maybe just indicative, and we are going to act upon that and then decide upon the final decision. I hope Snail Madam also has demonstrated certain things. Uh, I was hello. Samay, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're audible.
Yes. Yeah. So I hope it is the time for conclusion, but I hope people must have enjoyed the sessions, and they
Yes,
have
sir. Yes, sir.
interacted enough
Of
for
course.
this. Yeah. So thank you, organizers. Thank you all the participants.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
they
Shall I
can
conclude,
contact
sir?
us anytime.
Or
Yes.
Snehal ma'am is
Uh,
remaining.
so if she want to
Shall I conclude
show
or?
only,
Hello.
I think if she want to present one or two things, maybe for 10 minutes. I don't know whether she is present in the meeting right now. Are
Am
you
I
there,
audible?
ma'am?
Hello.
Yes. So can
Yes,
you
madam. Yes,
quickly
you're audible.
show maybe one
Yeah.
application if you are able to show quickly, no? Because you keep on using these AI tools. So I thought it may be quite helpful to people.
Correct.
But already the time has overshot, but we can make it short and
Yes,
it's
definitely.
yes.
So, Supriya ma'am, you recently asked a question, right? That was related to uh, how you can, create things related to ML. So there is one tool named OpenML for the same, where
Okay.
you can create your own workflows. That is specially for teaching machine learning. And again, we have one more, but that is a paid one. That is Teachable Machine. So it is also a web-based tool which create machine learning models fast, easy, and you can also see what is going on the back end also. So these are the tools I would recommend. And there was one more person who was asking regarding 3D designing tool, right? Um, Hello, am I audible to everyone?
Yeah, ma'am. Can you please repeat the name of the tool? One is the OpenML and the second one?
Teachable Machine.
Okay.
Yes. So OpenML is having certain things which are free. Even there are some data sets available, flows available already. Some tasks are already created there. So this is a good tool, and Teachable Machine is also good, but it is entirely paid. Uh, and one more person was asking regarding a 3D modeling, right? How to explain students in a 3D format. Hello, am I audible?
Yes,
Yes, madam.
madam.
Yes.
Yes, you are audible.
Yes, madam,
Yes.
you are
So
audible.
yeah. So I'm not able to share my screen actually. It is saying only meeting organizers and presenters can share.
Madam, you are presenter.
I'm not able to present. It is showing grayed out on the share button. It says only meeting organizers can share. I don't know. I'm not able to share.
Wait, madam. Wait.
Madam,
Yeah.
you have joined from two different devices. That's why the
Yeah,
problem is facing.
yeah. Due to some voice issue, I have joined from mobile and also from my laptop as well.
Okay, madam, I
Ma'am,
have made all your three accounts as a presenter. Check now.
ma'am, you need to get
Yeah,
access, then only you can present
got it, got it. I
as
got
a
the access.
presenter.
Yeah, got it. I got the access. Is my screen visible now to everyone?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
So
ma'am.
visible.
yes,
Yes,
I think
yes.
what
Till now.
Dr. Bhau Sahib was asking about the tool.
Yes, ma'am.
What, yeah. So I am just sharing one more screen of mine where I will show you. Uh, I am just sharing it to answer your question, and then I will move ahead to other things. So if you can see, this is one tool. Okay, it is Autodesk Tindercat. So Tindercad is an already designed you. Let's suppose I'm from a computer science background. I'm just showing you, let's say circuits. So you want to show some components, wiring components. So you can create it through this tool. You just write your
Okay.
prompt and you can start creating it
Okay.
3D with
Ma'am,
it.
I tried this tool. I think it's mostly useful for the mechanical engineering.
Yeah, that is. So now this, see, even uh, this tool, you have option to create your own as well designs. Okay. So when you are, see, now every tool is something where you need to understand every. Now even through this tool, one of our school is also teaching small students. So it is not specified. You can also create your own designs as well on this tool. So circuits is one part which is already they have defined, but there are other things as well that you can do. So I will come back to my presentation as of now, and we will quickly do it. I will show you some more tools which are for everyone. So I will quickly take you to my tools. So AI is everywhere. Why the AI is necessary? I would just like to give you an example. So I am a corporate trainer, and I am also a product manager, and I am an AI tool expert. So from the past few years, I see that there's transactions in AI, data, and product. And now when I'm training the industries, I and Ajay sir keep on talking, and we are training some of the industries where we train
Hello.
non-tech team analytics. Correct. So non-tech team,
Sorry,
we are sorry.
नाही
Hello.
जायचं जेवायला.
Am I
ते
audible, sir?
वेबिनार चालू आहे माझं ऑनलाईन.
Yes, you are audible.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Yes. So what I'm saying is, see, recently we are taking a lot of sessions with the industry. So what are those sessions about? It is about data analytics and machine learning. And data analytics is something which has become very important in the industry, and every industry, may it be an MNC or may it be a startup, they are training their employees into analytics now, and Python and AI, because it has become necessary now. So when it comes that it is a necessity of the industry, then it becomes even more necessary in education. So some of the tools I'm going to tell you today quickly would be the first, we all have heard about Canva AI. Canva AI will help you create templates, designs, and education material little more quicker. So currently the PPT I have created, right? If you can see, what is everybody's suggestion on this PPT? Everybody liked it? How is it? It is segmented. What do you think? I would like some people to just answer. Two or three might be. Hello. Hello. Am I audible? Anyone
Yes,
who
ma'am,
is,
you're audible.
Yes, ma'am,
yeah,
you are audible.
yeah. So I'm asking, anyone can tell me how does this PPT looks to you?
Um, it is segmented, ma'am, but honestly, I think the color is too loud.
Okay.
Also,
So
yeah.
now PPT is created just in 10 minutes before this session. Samay was taking the session. So this PPT was also created with an AI tool. What is the AI tool to create presentations? The best tool for today to create is Snowflow. Snowflow is the best one. See, now I haven't given it a prompt on an immediate basis regarding the color segmentation, but you can create a way. Even you don't need to give a lot much of content to it. So right now I have given it a content, but in certain cases you don't even need to give content to it. So Snowflow is one of the best tool to create PPTs. Then Copilot assisted Microsoft PowerPoint is also there, but on Copilot, when it is a paid version, it gives you better results compared to a non-paid version where it is giving, just a journalistic PPT being created. So Canva AI is the one. ChatGPT, I would like to tell you a little difference about the tools. ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, and Perplexity. So ChatGPT is specially for clearing our concept, creating the content for learning, or might be nowadays we are creating content for Instagram, LinkedIn, everywhere. So for certain things, ChatGPT is good. If you are someone who is into research or something, or you want to, let's say there is a article on the internet, or there is a novel that you want to read, you want to do certain research. So in that case, Gemini is better. And then when we talk about Copilot, the Copilot is very good for faculties and admin because it gives office productivity as well. Perplexity is good for, getting answers to certain things. Let's say I'm preparing for an examination or something. In that case, this is a good tool. So every tool is fragmented. I would just like to give you an example similar to this. Now, Swiggy, if we talk about the Swiggy, is a customized package of everything. It is giving you dine out, it is giving you the list of restaurants, it is giving you Instamart, it is giving you an option to order food as well. So it is for, see, it is a power tool for power application for so many things. But what about Zepto? Think about the colors of Zepto. It is pink and purplish. It is attracting the youth audience. Now, what is Blinkit attracting? Blinkit is yellow in color. Now, every tool, every application is something for a different purpose. You just need to understand the purpose and use the right tool for the right purpose. Now, we talk about Notion AI. Notion AI is very good tool if we want to create a quick website or we want to create an integrated workspace. Let's say all the faculties are working on a research together, or we are working on a, let's say there is an event or something, we are all working on a single event. So in that case, Notion is an amazing tool. Notion will help you in creating streamlined processes, making even quick websites, even integrated workspace it gives you. Then comes Miro. So if Miro is good for creating workflows, creating mappings. For faculties, how will Miro help? So Miro will help the faculties in creating boards. Now, let's say we are fragmenting the students for a certain thing. We want to create, let's say, workflows for a certain thing. We want to create blueprint on the for the examination. We want to create the journey of the student. Let's say we are in the admission phase of the, so creating the student journey, organize the organization student journey. So for that purpose, Miro is very good. Then when we talk about, see, now this diagram I created for a workflow related to show to a client. Now this I just got created in 5 minutes. Then napkin AI. So napkin AI is the idea of visualization. If I want to explain someone something through visual, in that case, napkin AI is very good. I would like to show you an example. This image. Reshma ma'am, can you please mute yourself? So AI processing, creating visual formats to explain certain things. We can create quick images in seconds, and even we can customize those images as well. Then quizzes AI. It is now you want to take an MCQ based test of the students. You want to, generate some platforms. You want to, let's say, create quiz for the students. You want to do certain activities in the class. In that case, quiz AI is very good. Then we have one LMS AI. LMS AI is the best tool. Now let's say we have to integrate the assessments of the student, activities, everything at one place where the student can also be a part, and where the faculties can also be a part, and we can even check student assessment through AI. So LMS help in that. So it is nothing but a learning management system AI. So there are many industries which are offering so many LMS AIs. So just on
Hello.
a quick note, I just told you all the things. Anyone has any questions? I would like to answer.
Hello.
Anyone have questions?
Hello. Which tool you said before the Miro?
Before
Can you
Miro,
please repeat? Yeah.
did I say napkin AI?
No,
No, no,
ma'am,
no.
something about flow or something. We couldn't get it.
Yeah, that is Notion AI.
Yeah.
Notion AI. Okay, okay, okay.
Correct. Yes.
Sorry.
Ma'am, can you share this
Hello.
PPT?
Yeah, I can share. Anyone else has any questions? And the tools I covered are almost free with a certain level of extent. Anyone else has any questions?
Ma'am, is Notion AI paid?
No, no.
Because I'm not
Now,
getting
for
it properly.
20 people, 30 people, it is not paid. If it is more than a team of 100 or something, it is paid. There
Okay.
is some limitations to it.
Okay.
Or might be I can't use all the templates. Like we all have used Canva, right? So there are some templates which are free of cost, some templates which are not free, right? So similar, Notion also have certain features or certain things which are not free. But however, all the work that is available can be done through Notion.
Okay, because I was trying it simultaneously, as and when you were saying, so I was facing some issues. That's all.
Okay, okay. So it has so many things like, when we talk about management tools, so management tool people create portfolio also in Notion. So it started as a portfolio tool and now it has expanded to, now see, for management purpose, it is giving all the features from creating your portfolio to everything now. Managing your team, managing tasks, managing activities, everything now it is giving. Anyone else has any questions? I couldn't go detailed
Yeah,
today
anyway,
because we had a short note right of the time. Hello? Yes.
yes. Thank you, Snehal ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ajay sir. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Ajay Deshmukh sir, for your enlightening talk on AI in education, and Mr. Samay and Snehal ma'am for introducing different tools required for the education, useful in education, and also there are practical applications. In today's session, we explore the challenges in imparting educations with big data and AI, the role of smart libraries, the live industry data in classroom, and also learn about different AI tools that can support AI teaching, learning, and research. Together, these insights give us a clear picture of how AI is transforming education and industry practice. So thank you so much, Ajay sir, Snehal ma'am, and Samay sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, dear participants. Yeah, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So there are important instructions for participants. Tomorrow's sessions will be continue as per the FDP schedule. So please kindly ensure you join sharply at 6 o'clock without fail using same Microsoft link, and all should remember the 90% attendance is compulsory. Yeah, thank you everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.